Connor Hayward is the split-out wide receiver to the left side. Two tight ends to the right. Laube, the lone tailback. O'Connell turns, hands it off to Laube. Bounces it to the outside at the 5. Angling to the goal line. Touchdown, Raiders! Dylan Laube started up the middle. Angled out to the right. Does his shimmy in the end zone. And the Raiders cap it off. A fumble recovery for the defense. And Laube for 6.
It's Unnecessary Roughness. Presented by Meineke, doing car care right. Here's your boy Q.
On the way in, we hear Dylan Laube touchdown. That was from preseason game number 2. That was in Houston, Texas. And, of course, we are now on the eve of preseason game number 3 coming up on Thursday. That'll be at Allegiant Stadium, and the preseason will come to a close just like that. Raiders and 49ers, and then the 2026 season will be here. We're very excited about that. We come into the sounds of Jason Horowitz on the play-by-play, as he always is, the voice of the silver and black. It is Unnecessary Roughness here on RaiderNation Radio 920. We are on the road today, which is great. It's like a field trip for me. You know, I'm always in the studio. Sometimes I'm in the studio with Ari. A lot of times he's kicking me out of the studio, so I got to go to Studio Q and I got to hang out there, which is fine, but I get kicked out of that studio at times. And so this is one of those occasions where I get to be out and about in the streets and with the people. And I'm with the fine folks here at PT's 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. PT's Gold is the spot that we're at right now. We're going to be here till 5 o'clock. And this is, first of all, what a beautiful location. Many different TVs. I've got about 6 or 7 of them that I'm staring at, watching the Little League World Series going on. And, of course, Nevada representing up 11-0 and looking like they're not done yet. They ain't done yet, so they're continuing to score. They're pouring it on. They've got the bases juiced right now at the top of the 6th, and now it's 14-0, just like that. Bada boom, bada bing. They are going ahead and pouring it on, and of course we know how phenomenal of a baseball team they are and a baseball program they are. We remember what happened last year, and here we go. Boom, they're at it again. So we are out and about. We're having a good time. Of course, as I mentioned, I have prizes for you that I'll be giving out here throughout the course of the show and the time here I'm at. PT's Golden, again, that's at 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. Been talking about it all week long, and it's time to not talk about it. It's time to be about it. So if you are in and about around town and you're looking for a place to be, this is where you should be. This is the location that you should come hang out. I got my guy Mateo with me, and so that means I got the best of the best with me, and we've got all kind of prizes here on the table. And on top of that, you come on by, you say what's up, we're going to get you in to win some UNLV tickets, and UNLV is going to be hosting Memphis coming up on Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff, and we've got multiple pairs of tickets to see UNLV. So we're definitely going to get things cooking the right way. I'm very excited about, of course, the opportunity to be out here in the streets in this beautiful, beautiful location. I cannot talk about this location better. It's just real clean. Everyone's having a good time. A lot of folks representing, got the Raider colors on, got the Raider shield on representing. Like I said, got the Little League World Series on multiple TVs, got ESPN on another TV, Fox Sports on another TV. You cannot go wrong. Of course, they've got great food specials. They got the ultimate wing down, the wing eating challenge that they got going on that I'll be telling you about as well. $10 entry fee, and you can win $2,500, $2,000, $500, $1,000. You can get all kind of different winnings, but there's plenty of great food. So it's the afternoon. It's Wednesday. Normally I say just kick off the weekend the right way with me. Yeah, kick off the weekend the right way with me, right? Again, if you're in town, you got the game that you're going to be going to tomorrow. It's like the weekend, right? It might be Wednesday. We'll start the weekend a little early. Hell, we're in Las Vegas, Ari. Do we need a weekend to kick it off right? We really don't. The problem is, you're going to make me want to call in sick to my other job, right? I got another show that I got to do later on this evening at 7 o'clock, but being here, I might just have to hang out, maybe just hook up the equipment and hang out till about 10 o'clock or until they kick me out of this fine location. So this is where it's at, and Ari, you're just going to have to stay there in the studio by yourself, my man.
Yeah. Well, I could see some cool visuals behind you, so I feel like I'm there in spirit.
Well, you are AI generated, so that's exactly the answer.
There.
That's the exact answer I would expect from someone who's AI generated. Well, it's almost like I'm there. I can see some visuals behind you. Well, you want the visuals, you want the foods, you want the beverages, you want the prizes. You don't have to be AI generated like my man Ari. Come on by and check us out. And like I said, we're having a really good time. We're going to have a good time all afternoon long, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. And my man Mateo is just handing me even more. More. Okay, hold on. We've got We've got 2 game day tickets at Allegiant. We've got a $100 rideshare credit. We got the $100 Allegiant bar credit. We got the Vegas football game day gear. We have everything that we're going to be giving out. And, of course, we've got the great drink specials, $3 Coors Light pints, $3 Blue Moons, and $4 Modelo pints. So you can get all that and then some here at PT's Gold, where I am at right now. And, again, I'm going to be here all afternoon long. There's already a handful of folks here, so all we need is you, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. So excited about this and excited about being out of the studio and having a good time. So definitely want to hear from you, want to see you. If you are in and around town, come hang out with us. If not, we'll just be a part of the show that we have lined up for you this afternoon. Coming up at 2:30, Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He'll join us just to talk all things Raiders as, you know, they're going into the final preseason game. Training camp is over. Training camp is done. I don't think enough people have been talking about it, but it's not training camp anymore, right? The preseason game will close out really everything. There's nothing on Friday. There'll be some kind of a practice on Saturday, and then the roster gets trimmed down to 53 men on Sunday, and then they're in full go mode. They're in full game mode, getting ready for the Miami Dolphins September 13th at Allegiant Stadium. So Sam Gordon will tell you all about the roster, tell you his thoughts, what he's been seeing as he's been there start to finish when it comes to training camp. So that'll come up at 2:30. At 3 o'clock, man, my good friend John Lund from KNBR, he's actually going to join the show to talk about the 49ers and what maybe we should expect to see from them as they come to Allegiant for tomorrow. And it's funny because I was on with him earlier today on his show on KNBR just talking about the Raiders and what the Battle of the Bay means, even though it's here in Las Vegas, and how that rivalry still has some juice and has some steam, and had a good time. It's always great to be able to catch up with John. It's always great to be on the radio there in the Bay Area. So after I got wrapped up, I said, hey, man, you want to return the favor? You want to jump on the show and have the same conversation, but on this side of things, and kind of let RaiderNation know what to expect from the 49ers? And they seem like they got a lot going on, right? They seem like they've got a lot going on when it comes to when it comes to the 49ers, from their coach to their players to their owner. And of course, I'm not going to drill them on the owner. I think there's already enough embarrassment going around there. But definitely want to get his thoughts on just what he expects in the preseason finale with the 49ers, knowing that the Raiders are going to be going to Santa Clara for Week 9, and that will be a game that matters. That'll be, the Raiders and the 49ers in Santa Clara. That's going to be a big deal, and that we're looking for something really special. We're going to do something really special. I do kind of have that plans already in work for that game. Looking forward to that coming up during the regular season. But this is a preseason game, but it's still Raiders 49ers, and it's alumni week for the Raiders, so there'll be tons of former Raiders in the Win Club, and that is something to definitely look forward to. So if you're going to be at Allegiant Stadium, I keep telling you this, you definitely want to make sure you pay attention to the Win Club and just be around the building, because you're guaranteed you're going to run into someone that rocked that silver and black for either a long time, a short time, but once a Raider, always a Raider. So that's happening coming up tomorrow at Allegiant Stadium. Quick little side note coming up tomorrow at Allegiant Stadium. This show that we bring to you, Unnecessary Roughness, will be live from 2 to 3 p.m., and then we'll do the pregame show from 3 to 5 p.m., myself and Lincoln Kennedy leading you right into the kickoff. And, of course, you'll hear Jason Horowitz, Kirk Morrison. You'll hear all those guys on the call. JT the Brick will be on the call for the radio side of things alongside Matt Millen and Eric Allen. And, like I said, you'll have Kirk, Rich Gannon, and Jason Horowitz on the call on the TV side of things. So that'll be a fun note for tomorrow. And, of course, we'll remind you about that a little bit more. But today it's all about what we've got cooking. We've also got Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst, host of the Eddie and Rocky Show. He'll join us around 4 o'clock to talk all things college football, the state of college football right now, where guys are in the NFL and decide that, hey, I'm not going to cut it here in camp, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make my way back to college. And I can't wait till these games get started. As I mentioned, UNLV plays on Saturday. Can't wait till these games get started, because then at some point we'll stop talking about guys that aren't making it in the NFL and want to return to college, and we'll just start talking about the games. But right now it's where it is, and, of course, we'll get Rocky's thoughts on UNLV, the Memphis game that they have on Saturday, and some other programs across college football that we should keep our eyes on. So we got a big show lined up for you. As always, Sam Gordon at 2:30. We've got my guy John Lund from KNBR at 3. Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst, at 4 o'clock, and we'll hear from you as well. 702-365-9200. Again, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. Henderson is where we're at. We'll be here till 5 o'clock. Before we get into the opening drive, we got to hear from our guy E-Rob. Yesterday was important. Tomorrow's important, but today's important as well. And why is that?
Because every day matters. The older you get, the more you start appreciating day in and day out. because you know I can't get that time back. I'm in the business of saying, not if I would have did this or if I would have did that. I'm in the business of now.
You know, it's funny. We got a text right now from our guy, Sir Whiskey Ray. He says, hey, Q, these drink specials that are happening at your location is like heaven. You can't sniff them happy hours out in the Bay Area. I'm there in spirit. Looking forward to a great show today, Sir Whiskey Ray. And he is absolutely right about those drink specials. $3 Blue Moon and Coors Light pints, $4 Modelo pints. You're not going to beat that with a bat, man. You definitely want to come on by here and take advantage of that. With that being said, all right, let's go ahead and jump into the opening drive.
The opening drive of Unnecessary Roughness on RaiderNation Radio 920 AM is brought to you by Paul Patta Law. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery.
So I was wondering about this game coming up tomorrow, and, you know, I asked Clint Kubiak about this yesterday, and, of course, he's not going to give us anything when it comes to personnel, when it comes to who's playing. Obviously, he didn't give us anything when it comes to the Ashton Genty injury, except for he's on the mend, which I think was good news, right? When you just think about it, if he says he's on the mend, I think that that's a positive because it could have been a lot worse. And, obviously, when I left the facility on Sunday after Ashton got injured, really definitely thought it was going to be a lot worse. So I think all in all, Ashton being on the mend, as Clint Kubiak said, is definitely a positive. But I am, thinking, and I asked him yesterday, the third preseason game traditionally has always been the dress rehearsal. But that was when they had 4 games. And so then they started using the second game as a dress rehearsal. Well, as you know, there wasn't a dress rehearsal last week in Houston, right? I mean, it just wasn't. Yes, Fernando Mendoza played the half of the game, but you didn't see the starters like you normally do in what they would call a dress rehearsal. You'd see them for a pretty lengthy amount of time, just kind of getting them where they need to be and getting them ready for the season. So I just kind of asked him what the philosophy was, and he said, "Oh, I'm not gonna tell you." Now he did smile a couple times. I'll say that I got a smile out of Clint Kubiak a couple times, which is that's a job in itself, right? I feel like I succeeded just when I was able to do that, get a little bit of a smile and a little bit of a reaction from him, because again, he's not a guy that's going to show a lot of personality, but all in all, he wasn't going to give who's going to play and who's not going to play. So I really thought about that, thought about it all night, really thought about it today. And just came up with the thoughts and wanted to throw this question out to you at 702-365-9200. What key contributor, someone that you know is making the team, needs more time on task and should play tomorrow in the game, and why? Because we know there's going to be a bunch of guys that are going to play that this will be the last time that they rock the silver and black, right? I mean, that's just reality. It's a numbers game. There's going to be 53 men. There'll be a practice squad that's going to be set up, but it's not going to be the 90-man roster that it is right now. So we know there'll be a handful of dudes that are going to play their last game, at least with this team right now. Right? They could be putting something on film, and maybe another team picks them up. Maybe they get on another practice squad. Whatever the case may be. I don't root against anyone. Anyone who's made it to this level has a fighting chance. But we know the reality of it. We know some of the guys that are not going to be there. We'll probably see them get a lot of burn coming up tomorrow. But out of the guys that are contributors, out of the guys are going to make the squad, who do you believe is someone who needs a little bit more time on task, a little bit more burn, and needs to play in this game tomorrow, and why? That's the question that I ask at 702-365-9200. Grumpy-ass Mexican hit us on the text line. Q, does once a Raider, always a Raider count for players that are camp but don't make the roster? Sure. Right? I mean, now, again, it's so funny. Whenever we say that, once a Raider, always a Raider, there's always an asterisk, right? There's always a player that you could put in that asterisk and we're like, well, except for him. Well, except for him. Well, that guy too, right? There's a couple of those dudes that, you just kind of, you skip over them when it's time for a roll call when it comes to once a Raider, always a Raider. But for the most part, I would say about 95% of the guys that have sported the silver and black and have suited up for the Raiders in some type of capacity, it always applies for. So, yes, guys that have been in camp, guys that have been in the locker room, guys that have, helped contribute to even get the other guys ready. I mean, look, it's funny. Think about scouts. There's a scout team that's out there at times. There's guys that end up on the practice squad. There's so many different people that play a role in building a team together, right? And if you've played any kind of sports that are higher than, say, just Little League, and I don't slight Little League, but, if you played any sports at a somewhat higher level, you know how much goes into that. From people that never, ever even play in that specific sport, like on the court or on the field, but they do so much work behind the scenes. Like, they play such a big role managers, it took me forever to understand what, some team managers, especially in college, they do. They do such a big job. The aces, for example, right? I mean, yes, we know the ladies that are on the court that are scoring buckets, getting rebounds, getting, Western Conference Player of the Week awards and Asia Wilson MVPs. But what about the ones that are out there in the practice court working with them so they can work on certain drills? Those are all key contributors as well. I really learned a lot about that when I covered Baylor. And I would go there and I would see the Lady Bears led by Kim Mulkey at the time and how much they would win. But I'd go to a practice and observe it, and you're like, man, it's those 5 that are playing and those 5 coming off the bench, but it's those 15 and 20 over there that are really big-time contributors with with this program as well. So, yeah, I mean, I know that's a long-winded answer, but, yeah, I would say that once a Raider, always a Raider applies for everybody. So there you go. Thanks so much for that text. I do appreciate you. And going back to the question that I asked, what key contributor, someone who is making the team, needs more time on task and should play tomorrow, and why? Let us know who you think that is. And I'll tell you, when I thought that question, I know it's a good question when I say it out loud and I start talking to myself. And then I start looking around while I'm driving. I'm like, who's watching me talk to myself and have a spirited conversation? You could tell, you always think people are on the phone or something like that. No, I wasn't on the phone. I was just having a healthy conversation with myself. But that's when I know that it's a good question. And I came with the conclusion, I think the whole offensive line needs to play. I mean, if you keep it a buck, I think the whole offensive line, the starting offensive line, needs to play a couple series. And honestly, I thought that last week in Houston. And I felt like that they missed an opportunity. Now, I know that they played on Tuesday. I know that they had their joint practice. I know that they got a lot of work in. But from what I saw against the Houston Texans on Tuesday in joint practice, they needed more work. So I thought on Thursday it would have been a good opportunity to go up against those guys again. Well, they didn't do it. I think tomorrow it'd be great. Even if it's only just a couple drives, I think that would be good. I think that first and foremost, that hit me in my head, and I started thinking I was going to say an individual player, but the reason I think that they need to play is because right now they're individual players, and I don't think they need to be individual players. I think they need to be one unit. Right, and they need to do everything they can. In one preseason game, a couple drives is not going to make them one unit. It's not going to all of a sudden solidify all 5 of them as they're on the same page, but it's a step in the right direction. So for me, that's going to be my best answer, right? It's like they do what in Family Feud. They say, is it Family Feud? It's top 5 answers on the board. Top 5 answers on the board. Offensive line for Q. Ding, ding, ding. Number 1. Right? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, that's got to be the number 1 answer is the starting 5 offensive linemen, even if we only see them for a couple drives. I think that those should be almost non-negotiables in being in action tomorrow at Allegiant Stadium. But do want to hear from you at 702-365-9200. Let's go out and talk to my brother, man, T3 in the nation's capital. T3, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, Q, what's going on?
Man, you got it. I'm hanging here at PT's Gold, having a good time, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Listen, I got top 3 for you here, and they'll hang up. Number 1, any of the top 6 linebackers not named Quay Walker or Jacoby Dean.
Okay.
That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2.
You said 6 linebackers?
Any of the 6.
Oh, okay. Any of the 6. Gotcha. All right. Cool.
Number 2.
All right. Who else?
Patrick Johnson.
Okay.
Okay. And number 3, Jordan Meredith, not at center, but at guard.
Ooh, I agree with that. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So any of the 6 linebackers, you're talking about Patrick Johnson and then Jordan Meredith, but at guard and not at center. I can get down with that, and I like what Patrick Johnson's been doing. I think he's definitely going to make the squad. And I think he's going to be a contributor that people are going to be talking about and really learn his name sooner rather than later.
Thanks. That's all I got.
All right. Hey, appreciate you, man. Good stuff. Great to hear from you. That's T3 in the nation's capital. Let's go back out to the phone lines at 702-365-9200. Remember, we got Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal joining us coming up at 2:30. Let's talk to our guy, Hardcore Raider. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, brother, don't worry. I got a story today, so we're good. Hey, you could make an argument that everybody on this team needs reps, man. Besides maybe Max Crosby and Brock Bowers, if we're being real about it. But
yeah,
maybe that's a little overkill considering where we're at with preseason, ending it and whatnot. But I got to push back on something real quick, dude. And I got to get your opinion on this before I spit mine on your question. So you said everybody, once a Raider, always a Raider. And I get it, dude. But I got to call two people out. Randy Moss, okay? I can't put him in that category. Like, he wore the colors for a minute, but I can't put him in that category. And there's no way I can put Antonio Brown in that category. Which is funny because the dude, like, I was just telling my son last night about Antonio Brown, about Hard Knocks, because he never saw it. He was kind of little when that episode came out. And like, most of Hard Knocks is about Antonio Brown. And he never even suited up at, like, one game. The whole Hard Knocks thing was about his, like, crusty feet and, like, his helmet, dude. It, like, ruined Hard Knocks for me, bro, for the Raiders. So hopefully at some point, like, most teams don't want Hard Knocks, but I hope we do, just to kind of get some, like, light on the, that kind of dark episode. So, like, someone like Antonio Brown, I can't consider him a Raider, dude. Like, he didn't play one game.
No,
that thing was
I agree with that. I said that there was a couple guys that you have an asterisk next to. I think both those guys that you mentioned would qualify. I would probably put Warren Sapp in there as well.
Yeah, hey, I would too. I was trying to be nice, but it is just it's funny because, like, you try to explain to your son about the Hard Knocks thing, and, like, then I mentioned Trent Brown eating the fruit roll-up on there. And I'm like, dude, we traded for him, I think. We paid him all that money. He didn't do nothing for us. And so, anyways, it was kind of a funny thing. But, all right, I'll make it quick. Jack Besh, the wide receivers, Benson, I want to see them get some action. And all the defensive backs, man. I mean, we need guys to get as many reps as we can. And, yeah, some of these rookies or younger guys, it's going to be a longer season for them. But I think there's a lot of guys on this team that need to get reps. So, I don't know if Mendoza's going to play, but I wouldn't mind seeing him a little bit. But I appreciate you letting me rant for a minute there. And, we'll see how this game goes, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, good call. And, yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to the once a Raider, always a Raider, there's, like I said, there's a small little percentage that you put an asterisk next to, and you're like, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I was excited when Warren Sapp became a member of the Raiders until I saw Warren Sapp become a member of the Raiders. I was excited about Randy Moss become a member of the Raiders. I went out and got that 18 jersey. Matter of fact, my guy Sir T. Matter of fact, hopefully my guy TQ is listening. Sir T was TQ's manager back in the day, and he gave me that Randy Moss jersey. Keek the Sneak put Randy Moss's name in a song, and it didn't work out too well. So that just those kind of things happen. AB, I would say the same thing about. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that he considers himself a Raider, and I don't think the Raiders ever consider him a Raider. But for the most part, again, when you look back and look at 97%, 95% of the folks that have rocked those colors and walked through those doors, whether they was in Oakland, L.A., or now in Vegas, it's once a Raider, always a Raider. Really good stuff, man. Thanks so much for the call. Definitely appreciate you. And he's talking about the secondary when it comes to what key contributor or, I guess, position group, do you think that is going to make the team, but they definitely need more time on task, and they should be playing. They should be in action tomorrow against the 49ers. Let's go out to the mean streets of Summerlin, I think. Talk to our guy, Thor. Thor, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
What's happening, brother? I'm actually on my way to the airport to pick up an X-Raider right now. So I'm not in the mean streets of Summerlin right now. I'm sitting in traffic right by the Bellagio, about to get off the freeway. Anyway.
Well, be careful. Be safe out there.
Everyone needs to play except Max, Brock Bowers, and obviously Genty because he's hurt. But if he wasn't, he would need to play too.
Okay.
The whole offensive line needs to play together solid. You want to say a couple drives, I'm okay with that, but I feel like when I grew up, the third preseason game was the one. That was the one people were excited about because the starters were going to play like a whole half. You know what I'm talking about? Like, we need cohesion. We need these people to get together and figure it out. I mean, it's not like we were like, playoff team or even close last year. So we really need to get together. I mean, the receivers, everyone, offensive line, the corners, the safeties, the linebackers. Everyone needs to figure it out, bro. Everyone needs to be out there. I want them all to play half. I know that won't happen. It's soft nowadays, but get them out there, man. Let's go.
All right, there it is. Hey, Thor, really good call as always. Appreciate you. And yeah, I'm with you, man. The third game used to be that dress rehearsal, as I called it. And, the starters played for the first half, and you really kind of understood where they were coming from. But you don't really see that anymore. And like I said, when there's only 3 preseason games as opposed to 4, I was wondering how, and we don't know because we've never seen him in this position before, don't know how Clint Kubiak attacks that. And when I asked him, he didn't give me an answer on who's going to play and who's not going to play. I do believe, because he alluded to it, that Mike Washington will play, which is good. But then again, he's your next guy up, so you kind of want to be careful with him. But, the more he can get, the more reps he can get comfortable, the better. But I would say that that's with the starting offensive line, right? And so that's why all roads lead back to the starting offensive line. I think that those are the dudes that is most important to see them out there. And, whether it's a couple drives, if it's a whole first half, I don't care. I just think that they need some more time on task with each other, whoever they're expecting that to be. So thanks for that call. Be safe out there on that road. We do appreciate you. And if you're out there on that road, stop by where we're at, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway, PT's Gold. Of course, we got all these prizes. We've been handing out prizes. We're going to get you in to win some tickets. We got plenty of tickets to give out. We got all kind of festivities that we're having here at PT's Gold. And $3 Blue Moon and Coors Light pints, $4 Modelo pints. And, of course, you can get all kind of great food. Whatever you need, they have here for you. So come on by, say what's up, hang out with us. We got Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. He joins us next here on RaiderNation Radio 920.
That was the opening drive of Unnecessary Roughness on RaiderNation Radio 920 AM. Brought to you by Paul Padala. It's not about the injury, it's about the recovery.
Well, I'd say it's his first one. It's baptism by fire every day at all positions, especially a rookie quarterback. So I see an improving player that we just got to keep being hard on and get him better.
Mendoza back to throw. Plenty of time. Looking left. Now fires near side. Caught Benson at the 40. Leaps into the air in front of the defender to make the grab at the 41-yard line. He beat the safety, Kayvon Merriweather, for 18 yards.
You're listening to Unnecessary Roughness with your boy Q. Brought to you by Meineke, doing car care right.
As we come back in, we come into the sounds of Clint Kubiak responding to our guy Sam Gordon about Mendoza, his what he's been doing so far throughout the course of training camp, preseason, where he's at right now, and of course Malik Benson with the reception versus the Houston Texans. And I would say Malik Benson's probably been the most consistent wide receiver for Fernando Mendoza moving forward. It is Unnecessary Roughness here on RaiderNation Radio 920. We're here at PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. And we've got our guy Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal joining us in a hot second. Before we do, though, I do want to shout out to the Henderson Little League team. They just advanced to the championship game coming up on Saturday for the second straight year. They got the victory 14-6. So big ups to Henderson. And again, they'll be playing for the U.S. championship on Saturday, second straight year that they have done that. Join us now on the phone lines, as promised, is our guy Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sam, thanks so much for the time. Do appreciate you. And how cool is that the Henderson Little League team once again is going to be playing in the U.S. championship game?
Well, what's up, Q? First and foremost, appreciate you having me. But, Vegas, Nevada is a baseball hub. You look at the lineage, the history, some of the great big leaguers that have come out of Vegas, going back to, Greg Maddux, Bryce Harper, of course, who I think is homered in his umpteenth consecutive game today, doing his thing. But even it starts at the little league level, starts at the grassroots level, right? And the Vegas has become a hub for obviously not just baseball at the major league level, but a hub for baseball at the little league level. So great for the area, and excited to see what the team does on Saturday in the U.S. Championship.
Yeah, I'm excited about that as well. Big ups to the Little Leaguers. And, man, what a cool opportunity and experience for them, because they won't all make it to the majors, but some, as you mentioned, this is a hub for great baseball play. So some of them will end up living out their dreams, but some of them, their dream is being lived out right now. Again, Sam Gordon is with us here at RaiderNation Radio 920 on Unnecessary Roughness. So, Sam, training camp is in the books, right? We got the final preseason game coming up tomorrow. We'll see the Raiders and the 49ers. Who would you like to see? Who do you think that, not guys that are, on the end of the roster that are going to be playing their final game, but guys that are going to make the team, but you think they need some more burn? Who would you like to see out there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the right guards tomorrow, Q. Caleb Rogers and Jackson Powers-Johnson. And I think Clint Kubiak yesterday was pretty coy about who's going to play, but he was asked about the battle at that position and mentioned that both guys are going to play, and it's an important game for them, and clearly this is, the fact that they're both playing, the fact that he put that out there shows that in his mind and the mind of the staff that is still very much is a competition. I would say, generally speaking, for the better part of training camp, at least if you go overall, who's gotten more snaps? Jackson Powers-Johnson, considering he held down that spot, the first part of camp. But it's ramped up. It's been a lot more even the last week plus or so. Of course, you had Jackson Powers-Johnson missing the practice in Houston and not playing in the preseason game, giving Caleb Rogers a chance to show what he could do out there in that group. So the fact that, those two are battling, it's been down to the wire. Looking forward to seeing what those guys do and just how the offensive line plays overall in general, how that coalesces with whatever group they're going to be out there. I'd imagine plenty of ones are going to sit. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see what Clint Kubiak's approach is. The third preseason game used to be the dress rehearsal. It doesn't feel like it's so much that way anymore, considering that is the preseason finale now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing just kind of what that workload is like at the right guard spot and how the offensive line gels in general.
I like how you went to the right guard spot in that competition between JPJ and Caleb Rogers, and I'm with you 100%. But, Sam, I took it a step further. I think that the expected ones for the offensive line should play a little bit. Even if it's only a couple drives, they should play just to continue to try to build that continuity together. You think there's any chance that we see that tomorrow?
Yeah, I think there's a chance. I'd be surprised if it was extended burn, and I still don't know to what degree, how much everybody's going to play. But if Kubiak wants to go with his first group out there, you can understand that. I mean, they didn't get any work as a unit the last preseason game. That, of course, was all pretty much the number twos for the most part on the offensive side of the ball, outside of Jalen Naylor, who played part of that first half with Fernando Mendoza. But I think, Q, big picture, how this team does this year is just kind of the direction of the team, including the quarterback position. I think the offensive line is going to be contingent upon how that offensive line performs. I don't think you don't want to put Fernando Mendoza in a situation early in his career where there's shaky offensive line play or where it hasn't coalesced yet and he's getting hit. And that's what's been happening so far in the preseason. He's been taking a little bit of punishment back there. Granted, again, it's with the number 2 offensive line and whatnot, but you want to make sure, how that group plays, if it can gel, if it can coalesce, I think is the key to not only how well, Kirk Cousins starts the season, presuming he's the starting quarterback, and that is the direction I believe this is very much headed, considering what the past few weeks have been like. But overall, when to make that move to Fernando Mendoza. So, yeah, if that group plays as a whole, I wouldn't be totally surprised. I'd be surprised if it was extensive reps, for sure. But if you want to get a series or two with that group and then start maybe mixing and matching, giving other guys more burn, I can see that playing out that way tomorrow night as well.
Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal is with us here on RaiderNation Radio 920 and Necessary Roughness. So you asked the question to Clint Kubiak yesterday about was the prayers answered when it came to Ashton Jeanty and the injury. And, I know there was a little bit of laughter after that question, but it seems like the prayers were answered. It seems like he's in a lot better position than any of us thought when we left the facility on Sunday. What was your read? What did you kind of take away with what Clint had to say, which wasn't much, about the Ashton Jeanty injury?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't much, right? And he's not, at this point in the preseason, he's certainly not obligated to tell us anything, so not entirely surprised as it is, right? Clint Kubiak can be a man of very few words in general, and when we're talking about a sensitive injury to one of the best players on the team, it's understandable why he didn't, want to go into detail. But overall, based on just kind of what I've heard, sending some text out Sunday night, we saw the report. Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport, and I heard the same thing shortly after that. It's an ankle, it's not a knee. There's a lot of hope that this isn't something that's going to be super long term, and that he's in a spot that he can return early in the season. And things considered, right? Like that's my expectation. The reaction in the building definitely made it seem like it was something, I think, a lot more serious than a sprained ankle that might keep him out, that may or may not keep him out a week or two. So just, hearing that was an ankle, you would imagine that there was an organizational of sigh of relief. So still, it depends on what, of course, I'm not, a medical expert or anything, but you'd imagine it depends on how severe the ankle sprain is, what grade it is, if it's a higher or a lower ankle sprain, you know what that might do. And I'm sure it only happened a few days ago, so I'm sure they're getting treatment and they're seeing how it responds and all that. But the fact that, I mean, he mentioned, God's timing works in his timing, and that you get the sense that his timing, from Kubiak's perspective, is going to be early in the season. He certainly didn't spell out that this is going to be a long-term thing, even though it seemed like it, Q. The reaction was very, very serious. And based on, the report and the fact that Ashton Jeanty avoided a serious injury, you would surmise that the prayers of the team were answered in that regard.
Yeah, man, the way it felt when we left the facility on Sunday, it felt like doom and gloom, and now it's a lot more sunshine and rainbows over the building right now as opposed to what it was on Sunday afternoon. Again, we're speaking with Sam Gordon here on RaiderNation Radio 920. So Mike Washington is all of a sudden elevated to running back one for at least the time being. How much of that workload do you expect or do you think that he can carry? Like, what have you seen from him through 2 preseason games, and what are your kind of expectations for him moving forward?
Well, he's been, I think, one of the big winners of the preseason for the Raiders. It was, of course, I think Ashton Jeanty had 3 carries in that first game, and then he didn't play in Houston. So he's had the opportunity to show what he can do in the preseason game. 19 carries, almost 120 yards. He's averaged more than 7 yards a pop. And I think what we've seen in the preseason, at least when he has the ball in his hands, is a lot of what we've seen in camp, which is a big, fast, strong, physical runner that wants to get downhill and has the wiggle to make guys miss and has the verve to run through guys. So as long as Ashton Jeanty's out, I would expect for him to be the de facto bell cow back in the backfield, especially considering it's not the deepest position for the Raiders. Dylan Laube going into his 3rd year, I believe he has 9 career rushing yards, and Dario Gupawale, a veteran journeyman that doesn't exactly have a robust rushing total either. And you just kind of look at the tools, the combination of size, speed, explosiveness. Like, Mike Washington is the guy in the Raiders backfield in that regard. So maybe it's a situation where Ashton Jeanty misses a week or 2, but maybe it's not. But if it is, what an opportunity for Mike Washington Jr., who goes from a situation where he's backing up what was going to be a bell cow kind of running back, somebody that going to be heavily featured in the running game, and I think a little bit more in the passing game this year under Clint Kubiak than he was last year. Jeanty certainly made it clear to us that was something he had worked on. Well, now Mike Washington is in a position to get that workload, to get those kind of carries, to get that kind of opportunity, and put the Raiders in a position where, hey, there's a chance he plays so well that if you're Clint Kubiak and company, like, this is the opportunity he has in front of him, he can you play your way into a real role. Now, does that mean cut the carries in half? Or no, I'm not saying that, but a real role other than spelling Ashton Jeanty once in a while. Kubiak not averse to using 2 running backs. He did that in Seattle last year with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. Even though Walker, more established back, kind of go-to guy in that backfield, there was still a clear role for Zach Charbonnet. So it's a big opportunity for Mike Washington Jr. He certainly met the challenge in training camp with the way he's played. I think there's things that he needs to tighten up. Pass protection, ball security. He has to make sure those things are on point. Just the nuances of the running back position, where to sit down on choice routes, all those things. But that'll come with time and experience, just like it will for any young player. And he's primed in position as long as Ashton Jeanty's out there. I think have a real role in the Raiders' offense.
Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal is with us here, RaiderNation Radio 920 Unnecessary Roughness. We'll close out with this. What position group do you have more concern with, the wide receivers or the secondary, and why?
Oh, great question. Those are definitely, I think, the two spots where I think the two biggest question marks that the Raiders have, especially, you heard Clint Kubiak issue publicly, right? A public challenge for his wide receivers. If he's saying that publicly, again, a man of very few words at these news conferences, you imagine that's been communicated very clearly privately. So I'm going to go with the receivers just because that's a little bit more of a veteran group. It makes sense that there's that when you're that young in the secondary, and you talk about a rookie with Jermon McCoy, Hezekiah Massis, Trayton Stoops is a rookie, Darian Porter's in his 2nd year. You're expecting, I think, a developmental curve, that there's going to be growing pains and a learning process, but that the receiver group is a little bit more of a veteran group. I'm not saying it's not young, because there's definitely some youth there. Malik Benson The rookies had, as we talked about, I think a very strong camp in impressing, as we talked extensively about throughout the preseason, has had a strong camp. But you got veterans there with Trey Tucker and Jalen Naylor that have been in the NFL a few years, that know how this thing works. And without a, quote unquote, true number one receiver, we understand Brock Bowers is going to be the featured target. But without a traditional true number one receiver, there's still, I think, that passing game is going to have to gel, and that hierarchy is going to have to establish itself organically. So Kubiak said yesterday he liked the way the receivers were slotted in practice. I think what we saw out there at the facility were the receivers being very active in practice. There was a big-time go ball a couple days ago, Kirk Cousins to Trey Tucker, 50-plus yards for a touchdown, hit him in stride. We haven't seen a ton of those plays like that from the receiving group. So the fact that you saw that, you saw the Kirk Cousins and Trey Tucker connect down the field. You saw Jalen Naylor get a little bit more involved with the first-team offense, catching passes in practice. Those type of showings in practice is, probably why Kubiak feels a little bit better about the group moving to the preseason game. But still, a lot of competition. Somebody needs to establish and separate, and that group's a little bit more veteran. You expected the DBs to take some time to develop, but there's, I think, a little bit more urgency on the offensive side of the ball on the perimeter right now than there is on defense.
Great stuff as always. Sam Gordon, Las Vegas Review-Journal with us here, RaiderNation Radio 920. I know you'll be at Allegiant Stadium tomorrow. What else are you working on, my man, that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, there's a big, let's just say this, Q, there's a big high school football game this weekend involving, one program, obviously with very direct ties in Bishop Gorman, and another program with a little bit more indirect ties to Las Vegas, Christopher Columbus High School out of South Florida. So I have a little something on that this weekend that has a very strong Raider connection. Looking forward to putting that together for this weekend. And, of course, excited to be out there to wrap up the preseason. This thing went by quick, Q. Some of those days felt a little longer than others, but the fact that training camp's over, the preseason's here, we're going to know what that roster looks like this weekend. Makes me all the more excited for the regular season. I know you feel the same way, and I'm looking forward to seeing you out there at Allegiant Stadium tomorrow night.
No doubt, and that's a hell of a tease right there, man. That's why you're a pros, man. Great stuff as always, Sam Gordon. Thanks so much for your time, my man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Q. Talk soon. Take care.
All right, you do the same. Sam Gordon right there, Las Vegas Review-Journal, and that's a nice tease for that high school game coming up this weekend. You definitely want to pay attention to that, and, of course, check out everything Sam's got cooking on Twitter at @BySamGordon. And we are here, PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. And not only do we have UNLV tickets, not only do we have a bunch of prizes here on the table, we also have the hookup for you, tickets to go see the first game of the regular season versus Miami at Allegiant Stadium. And we got the hookup. It doesn't start there. We got the hookup when it comes to $100 at a bar tab. We have $100 Uber tab. We have everything that you need. All you got to do is come on by, say what's up, see my guy Mateo. He'll get you in to win. Just saying what's up is going to get you in to win. Just that simple. But we're going to be giving out those tickets. First game of the season. Again, hosted the Miami Dolphins. You want to see your team. You want to see the silver and black. You want to see what they look like up close and personal for the first week. We're going to put you in the building. Just come on by and say what's up. 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. Henderson is where we're at. We are raiding PT Taverns. It's PT's Gold here with RaiderNation Radio 920.
We just control what we control and just go out there day by day and play our best. Max Crosby, Adam Butler, JJ, all the guys in the room, they've poured into us a lot and helped us out.
What's it been like playing for a defensive coordinator like Rob Leonard?
It was really fun. It could be annoying at times, but it was really fun. But I love Coach Robbie. He's a great guy, has a great scheme, and I love playing for him.
You're listening to Unnecessary Roughness with your boy Q. Brought to you by Meineke, doing car care right.
Brandon Cleveland talking about playing the best they can, playing with the veterans. Robbie Leonard, the defensive coordinator, former defensive line coach, and, of course, Brandon Cleveland was a 7th-round pick by the Silver and Black. It is Unnecessary Roughness, RaiderNation Radio 920. We're here at 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. We are at PT's Gold. We've got Raider tickets, Raiders and Dolphins, Week 1. We've got the $100 as far as the bar tab goes. We've got the $100 as far as the Uber goes. Got all the hookup for you. All you need to do is come on by and say what's up. We've got some great guests coming up, including John Lund from KNBR will join us coming up at the top of the hour to talk about what to expect from that other team that the Raiders will be playing tomorrow at Allegiant Stadium. That is the 49ers. I was on his show earlier today. He's going to return the favor and be on ours in a matter of minutes. And, of course, we've still got Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst. He'll join us at 4 o'clock, talk all things college football. So all we need is you to come on by, say what's up. I threw the question out there, what key contributor or someone you know is going to make the team, who do you think needs more time on task and should play tomorrow, and why? I picked the position group, the first team offensive line. I definitely think that they should be out there playing, but we do want to hear from you at 702-365-9200. As a matter of fact, we got this one from Jared who said, what up, Q? Honestly, I feel like the entire defense minus Max needs to get up there and play. If I'm being completely honest, the starting defense as a whole, as a group, has looked like hot garbage. This team looks like they're about to win 5 games this year based on the way the starting defense has gotten ran through like a tin horn. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, being honest, not sugarcoating it today. Thank you. That's Jared. Appreciate the text. Appreciate the honesty. And we never ask you to sugarcoat anything around here. That's the one thing I can promise you. We're not asking you to sugarcoat anything on Unnecessary Roughness here on RaiderNation Radio 920. So, the defense, I could see multiple guys from that defensive side of the ball playing. I would like to see a defensive line get after it and try to stop the run, because we did see 2 games in a row where they were able to be ran on. So that would be positive. We know Max is not going to play, so that's one element that you can not worry about. But other guys on that defensive line and other guys on that defense that continue to try to gel, same reason I was talking about the offensive line, I can see that as well. John Lund, KNBR, kicks off hour number 2. We'll do it next here on RaiderNation Radio 920.
We just use that to raise our standard of play. Just going back and forth, not comparing each other, but improving each other, taking bits and pieces from each other. That's one thing about offensive line is the technique that is being asked is going to be similar, but we can take small pieces of our game from each other, communicate with each other about what needs to be given, what needs to be done. That's just a part of the job, raising the standard of play. That was the same thing I was doing last year.
It's Unnecessary Roughness. Presented by Meineke, doing car care right. Here's your boy Q.
Caleb Rogers right there talking about the offensive line competition and how that raises the standards for everyone, and that was upon further review. He had that conversation with Paul Gutierrez, Raiders.com. You can definitely go ahead and check that out. We're here at PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. Come on by, say what's up, get in to win some Raider tickets, get in to win the $100 Uber credit, get in to win the $100 bar credit as well. So Caleb Rogers will know he'll be in action coming up tomorrow at Allegiant Stadium. Who will he be taking on in the San Francisco 49ers? We'll be getting a preview of them in a hot minute as John Lund, KNBR, host of Fair and Bias, will be joining us in a hot second. Again, just throwing it out there to you at 702-365-9200. Hit the text line up. What key contributor, someone you know is making the team, who you feel like needs more time on task and should be playing tomorrow, and why? Let us know your thoughts. Again, at 702-365-9200. 9200, and when John joins us, we'll figure out exactly what the 49ers are going to bring to the table or what he's expecting for them to bring to the table. But we did get a bunch of texts that are coming through. Definitely can appreciate that. Just like Raider for Life Will said, Q, I agree. First and foremost, the starting offensive line needs to play, and our DB should play at least the first quarter, but our offensive line for sure. So, that's kind of that area of growth, especially with the secondary, is going to be something to pay attention to because, again, for the most part, outside of Eric Stokes, they're all really young. Even Darian Porter being a second-year guy, that's going to be an area that you want to pay attention to. I'll tell you one thing, Traden Stukes. We know Eric Stokes is starting, but pay attention to Traden Stukes. I'm intrigued to see him continue to develop because he's come along. There was some questions early on in training camp. People kept asking, where's Traden Stukes? Where's Traden Stukes? Have you seen anything from him? I said, well, he's still trying to, get his feet underneath him and figure out what he's doing. But it seems like he's gotten a lot of confidence going, and he really does understand the situation now, and he's playing well. Saw him out there yesterday running with Isaiah Polamau. Saw him out there yesterday running with Jeremy Chin. Saw him running in multiple different locations. So definitely believe that he's a guy, as I mentioned, and labeled him a first day or from the start from the very first game going to be a starter. And I do believe that he has that opportunity. If he's not exactly starting, I think you're going to see him with a lot of burn coming up on September 13th against the Miami Dolphins. And again, that's a game that we could send you to if you come by here where we're at right now. That is PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson. We'll get you in to win that for sure. So join us now on the phone lines, as promised, is our guy, John Lund from KNBR, host of Fair and Biased. And, John, thanks so much for your time. You told me earlier today when I was on your show, hope to talk soon. Probably didn't know it was going to be a couple hours later, but here we are.
No, I'm ready, man. I'm warmed up. You got me warmed up. I'm ready to roll.
Yes. Well, you asked me about the Battle of the Bay, the Raiders and the 49ers, and I know the Raiders are in Vegas now, but how important that was. So how important is this game? And I know they play in Week 9, but just for 49er fans, how fired up do 49er fans get for this one?
Huge. I've been in the Bay Area over 15 years, and every time they got together, whether it was preseason, regular season, joint practices, absolutely huge. Now, you know this as well as I do. It's different since they moved to Vegas, but there's still tons of Raiders fans. I remember going to the New Year's Day game a couple of years ago, and I went on that morning, and the flight was just full of Raider fans. So there's, has it changed? Yeah, it's absolutely changed. But when you talk about Raiders and Niners, it's a long history that's going to survive, the Raiders going anywhere.
I wanted to ask you about the team in general. It just seems like it's been really noisy around them for multiple different reasons. But is that noise that's been going on around the 49ers? And do you think that has a chance to be somewhat of a distraction this season for this team?
Well, it kind of mirrors a couple of years ago when Brandon Ayuk was going through the contract, not the stuff that he's doing right now, but, he was on the field, he was off the field. It was preseason. It was during practices. And that was directly into the locker room. But the things that are happening now, Kyle Shanahan getting into an accident, he's much better now. Jed York's situation, there's been a lot of weird things. Ricky Pearsall seems to get hurt every single year. The players are insistent that it's not. I talked to Fred Warner day before yesterday, and he's insistent that it's not. But, anything that distracts your team, you've been doing this a long time too. I mean, anytime that you have any sort of a distraction and you have to be asked about anything that is not football related, it can be a distraction. And so we're starting to have a lot of conversations that it's mirroring a couple of years ago where, you kind of, this is a fan, kind of just like it just has a weird feeling. When you have a season that is charmed, when you have a season that's kind of going sideways, and it just feels like right now between the injuries, Kyle's thing, this Jed York situation, like all the things that are going on, it just seems like it's off to just kind of a weird and ominous start.
Yeah, it does. It just, again, it's a lot of noise, and I never think that a lot of noise around a team is a good thing as they're getting ready for an upcoming season. So it's the third preseason game tomorrow. It used to be the dress rehearsal, but now they only have 3 preseason games, so it's wrapping up the preseason. How is Kyle Shanahan treating this one coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, he's not going to play anybody just because of the fact that not only is it the last preseason game, but for the 49ers, they're leaving a week from today to Australia. The Rams are just going to fly in, fly out. The Niners are going to stay there for a week. And what's amazing is they have 26 injuries right now. Nick Bosa hasn't even participated in training camp, and they think he's going to be there. But the second closest team is the Saints at 16. So there's select injuries on every team. But these guys they have a bunch of old guys on offense, 30-plus-year-old guys. George Kittle coming off an Achilles at 32. Mike Evans is older. Trent Williams is 38. I mean, you can go on down the line. There's a lot of guys. So Kyle, what he's trying to do so that they don't have so many injuries is not practice guys, but of course you have this age-old debate, is it rust, what exactly is it? So offensively they got a lot of age on this team and they've just got to rest guys, but even regardless of that, trying to make it an easy camp, they still have a ton of injuries.
I know we joke and laugh, and there's a Twitter account now that has to do with that substation that's there at the practice facility. What is is there any reason that you could put your finger on of why it seems like they get injured so often there?
There has to be some sort of a theory, and this is a stupid one, but it's me after all. It's it just seems like it's bad luck because there is age on that side, so old guys are going to get hurt. There's no question, and lots of guys are coming off injuries. Bosa's coming off his second ACL on that specific knee. I just mentioned Kittle, all these guys. So look, when you have an older team, you're going to get hurt. But, people have theorized, okay, is it the station? People have actually done science, as crazy as it sounds, that it's not that. People say that the camp is too hard. It's not too hard. It's the lightest camp I've ever seen that the 49ers have because they don't want to get hurt. Sometimes I don't think it's the staff. A lot of people have blamed that. Oh, you got to get a new staff. They've already gotten a new staff 2 years ago. So, sometimes, and it's not the sexiest theory, but sometimes you just have bad luck, and that seems to be what's going on.
Yeah, it does. John Lund, KNBR, is with us here. RaiderNation Radio 920, Unnecessary Roughness. Mike Evans was a sneaky good pickup that, I feel like all his time at Tampa Bay, he was never given the credit he should be for the great wide receiver that he is. What kind of addition does he bring to this 49ers team, obviously at a much older age?
Yeah, I think it's really good. Ricky Pearsall always gets hurt, so they knew they had to insure themselves. Now, has Evans been much in training camp? No, but again, that goes back to they're just not going to push him in camp. So he's had some muscle injuries in camp, but in terms of if he's healthy, you're looking at Mike Evans on one side. You're looking at Deebo Samuel, who everybody says this in camp. He's in the best shape of his life. Okay, Kyle knows how to use him, so I'll go with that. And then second-rounder Dejon Stribling out of Ole Miss, who's looked really, really good. I think those three are going to be your starters. There's other guys. Christian Kirk hasn't participated any in camp. There's a couple other guys. But, I think those are your three wide receivers. But it's led by Mike Evans. And what Brock Purdy will do, because he's fairly accurate, he's look for him in the red zone. Because Kyle Shanahan normally is great in the red zone. They weren't great in the red zone last year. Obviously, they lost George Kittle, and that was a big hit. But Mike Evans is going to be used a ton in the red zone.
You mentioned Ricky Pearsall, and he was the guy that before he got injured, and obviously he's going to miss the season, I was really high on him bouncing back and having a big contribution for the 49ers just because of what he was able to do in college. Where is his standing now with this team saying that he's missing another year of action?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things, and we've all seen it on our team. It gets frustrating, but after a while, you can't miss what you never had. I mean, he just has not been healthy. And there's certain guys, and there's certain guys, maybe they're just not built for the game. And, he's had so many injuries, and they took Stribling in the second round. And this was before, but they had an inkling in the offseason. But, he had bad luck getting shot in San Francisco, and then it's just been injury. And he has a ton of talent when he's on the field, but he just hasn't been on the field. And so I think when it comes to the 49ers, Evans is an older guy, Deebo's an older guy, so they're going to hold a space for him in the future. But they're also, and it's illustrated by Stribling in the second round, they're going to move on because he just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And at some point, you just have to say, we got to move on.
I know you mentioned Kyle Shanahan's not going to really play anyone coming up on tomorrow, but is there anyone that you feel like might be on the bubble that might need this game tomorrow just to kind of solidify who they are?
I think it's more about, the offensive line, there's a, left guard spot. I know that's not the sexiest thing. I can hear your ratings go down as I talk about offensive guards. But, it's like, yeah. But yeah, and you know what? The other side of it is there's a lot of young guys on the defensive line, the interior defensive line. They had 20 sacks last year, dude. It was the worst in the league. And so they've got to find somebody on the outside. Romello Height, a guy that was out of Texas Tech. It's big for him. He wears 94. So, yeah, defensively, especially where they're really, really young and they've got an injury at one of their corner spots, they've got to figure out how they're going to deal with that. Jack Jones, a former Raider, is a guy that it may have to show out tomorrow night. So most of the spots are defensively getting after the quarterback and covering wide receivers. The offensive side is pretty well set with all the veterans except for the, of course, ratings-draining offensive guard talk.
Jack Jones is the gift and the curse. He's the guy that'll make the play, and he'll be the guy that gets burned too. So, I liked him a lot when he was here, but he takes so many chances. So, he might be able to be a really good factor in that defense there for the 49ers because he was a big contributor for the Raiders. He just couldn't be that guy consistently like year after year. Thought they had a steal in him. So we'll see what happens with him there in San Francisco. Well, we'll close out with this, and it's great to always catch up with you. What are your expectations for this team this year, knowing that everyone's looking at the Rams like, oh, they're going to definitely go to the Super Bowl? And the Seahawks, by the way, are the defending champs. And then you've got the 49ers. So what are your expectations for San Francisco?
It's really hard because, every team has to deal with injuries, but they've got so many and they've got so much age. And, I hate to say it for the 49er fans out there, but I just think the window's passed. I think the division is too good. I think, I have a theory called what if, and you can go down the line and it's what if. What if Kittle stays healthy? What if Evans stays healthy? What if these young defenders, come through? They just, anybody opposite Bosa, they just haven't had any juice. And like I said, they had 20 sacks last year, worst in the league. I think they just have too many what ifs. Do I think they're going to be a playoff team? They might be near the bottom. Kyle's an absolute genius when it comes to calling plays, and he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So he pulled the 12-5 season out of them last year when they had no business being a 12-5 team. So they could surprise. It's just this is a team with a lot of injuries. The season hasn't even started. A lot of age, but a lot of youth on defense. So a lot of things are going to have to go right for them to do what they did last year.
You know the big what if for the Raiders, 2016, Derek Carr, Christmas Eve, there at the Coliseum. What if he never breaks that ankle? What happens? You know that was a hell of a season for the Raiders. I look back at that all the time and wonder what in the hell would have happened if that hadn't happened. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I was there, man. That was a killer. It was a killer, man. It's true. No, but that's what it's about, right? And especially when it comes to the NFL. There's injuries in other games or other sports. But in the NFL, it's just when, to who, and how long. And so the 49ers just aren't off to a great start in that regard.
Nah, great stuff as always. We did have a text from my guy Keith in the 415. He said, "Hey, I miss listening to John on the radio, so tell him what's up." So you got a loyal listener that's here listening to me right now and wanted me to pass that message on to you. So keep up the great work, my man. Thanks so much for the time. You know I appreciate you.
You too, man. You're the best. It was great talking to you today, man. Always good.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you. Great stuff. John Lund right there. KNBR, fantastic. Host of Fair and Biased on KNBR. And shout out to my guy Keith as well in the 415. But, yeah, me and John go back a very long way, so I appreciate him giving a few minutes at a time. And I feel the same exact way without trying to be a jerk or whatever. I feel the same way about the 49ers as he does. I feel like that window is closed. All right, I mean, the Rams, they have an opportunity this year with all the talent that they have. They got to stay healthy to go and be such a good team. But then you also look at the Seahawks, who, by the way, are the defending champs that nobody's talking about. All right, the defending champs that nobody's talking about is in that division. I think that time has passed the San Francisco 49ers by, but we'll get to see them, right, at Allegiant Stadium tomorrow, obviously the final preseason, and then we'll take over the Bay. We have plans here on RaiderNation Radio 920. We've got plans for that Week 9 action in Santa Clara, but we'll take over the Bay. I mean, I'm thinking of different locations where we could do the show from. I'm thinking about getting out there all week long. Like, I'm really trying to put it together. Now, you know when you put everything together and then you put the budget together and you're like, well, a little bit over budget there. That's probably what's going to happen. But I think it's well worth it. I really do. I just think that it would be such a cool event, an opportunity, have a big tailgate party there in the Great America parking lot. It's not like they're doing anything with that anymore anyway, so why not have a big tailgate party there and just, just take over, right, and put those silver and black roots back there in the Bay. So that's something to look forward to Week 9. But we can't get to Week 9 before we get to Week 1. And to get to Week 1, we got to get through tomorrow. Tomorrow is preseason game number 3. Sounds like the 49ers aren't going to have anyone out there that's going to be worth the salt. The Raiders, they're going to need to have some folks out there as far as I'm concerned. That's how I started off the show, talking about what key contributor or even position group, as it's been kind of coined at this stage of the game. Somebody who needs more time on task. Who do you think should be playing for the Silver and Black tomorrow? Let us know your thoughts at 702-365-9200. Let's see. What did he say? Q, yes, said Q both times. Q, you can ask on a smartphone when I slow down. What? I don't know. Oh, I get it. Okay. Q, can you ask John Lund about Greg Papa much more? Oh, okay, I get it. My bad. I'll text him. I'll shoot him a text. And, yeah, obviously all thoughts and prayers are with Papa and everything that, he's been going through. And, John actually is there in that spot in KNBR. And, they had some weird, crazy things going on there, obviously, and the way that they laid off Greg, and obviously he's been dealing with so much. And I still remember, what was it, training camp last year? It was training camp last year, and the 49ers, as a matter of fact, were here in Vegas for the joint practice when I saw the tweet that said what Greg was going through, and it just, like, my heart dropped. You know how we always say, once a Raider, always a Raider? We started the show talking about that. Papa's the soundtrack to my childhood, right? I mean, he's that guy that I would be out there. I'd be out there on my dad's boat on Sunday afternoon after church, and I'd be listening to the game, and that's who I'm listening to. While my dad's fishing, I didn't want nothing to do with no fishing. That was not my bag. You could not find me with no fishing pole. There was one time my dumb self had a fishing pole in my hand, and my dad was like, oh, you better hold on to that because if a fish comes up and bites it, it's going to pull you into the water. And I was like, okay. Sounds good, old man. Like, what does this guy know? And, man, sure as you know what, that thing bit, and, man, that pole almost brought me in, and my dad, I had a fro. Thank God I had hair. He literally grabbed me by my fro and kept me from going in the water. I ain't lying, man. I ain't making this stuff up. He literally grabbed me by my fro. I had a nice little set of hair. I didn't have a fade. If I had a fade, I'd be in the water. I might still be in the water. They might not have ever found me.
Definitely gonna need some photos of that era.
Oh, I got hey dog. I got some real deal pictures of me. I didn't get my first haircut. I got a trim all the time, but I didn't really get the haircut till I was like 9. So I look
9. Oh.
No wonder I go every week and get my hair cut now. I mean, you would have thought I was the Jackson 6.
Well done.
I was just in the background. That's all. I was just moving side to side. I wasn't saying a word, man. I didn't have no vocals. I didn't have all I could do is just slide to the side.
Not anymore.
That's it. Yeah, not anymore, man. So yeah, I was a Jackson 6, man. I had the fro for real. No wonder I go and get my hair cut all the time. I'm making up for lost time. I'm making up for lost time. I think when I got my first real deal haircut, when they really brought it down, I want to say my dad made him put my hair in a bag so he could take it home to my mom so she didn't get too depressed. Mama Q was not happy. I'm telling you, man, hey, look, man, my fro made everyone's fro look bad, man. Lionel Richie didn't have nothing on me, right? None of these cats had nothing. Temptations, they were like, man, his hair looks good.
What's crazy is I can only see you with facial hair with a fro because I just only know you as an adult. So I'm just like trying to picture this kid, and I can't. It's great.
Nah, it was the real deal, Holyfield, man. I had the real deal. So yeah, man. One day I'll have to show you a couple pictures of me back in the day. I got a couple of gems.
I bet.
Little Q at its finest. So there's that. Nice. But yeah, man, that's so funny. The conversation started out talking about Greg Papa and ended up with me almost falling in the water and me having a fro. Go imagine, right? Go figure. If you don't keep your head on the swivel on this show, man, you are in trouble.
I'm not surprised. Right? That's the show.
Someone, the thing about it is in like radio, people tune in like every couple seconds and then they tune out, and so someone probably tuned in and was like, "What the hell is he talking about? Him having a fro and almost falling in the water, and his dad caught him? What? What is this dude talking? This guy goes and gets a haircut every week. What is wrong with this dude?" Hey, man. This is what you signed up for.
That's right.
This is what you signed
Welcome
up
to
for.
Unnecessary Roughness.
We got everyone here at PT's Gold like this dude. They're like, man, we were taking advantage of the drink specials here, but I think this guy took advantage of the drink specials before he got here. He's going in all kind of different conversations, but that's what happens, man. Field trips. That's what field trips are all about. Yes. 903 East Lake Mead Parkway, Henderson's where we're at. My guy Jason just rolled into the spot, so he's done working for the day and having a good time. And again, this is a beautiful location. It really is, and I could not complain. There's all kind of baseball action going on, and just everything that you could imagine that you would want to see is here on these screens. And yeah, just like I said, all we need is you. We have Raider tickets that we're trying to get you in to win. We're trying to get you that $100 bar tab there at Allegiant. We're trying to get you a $100 Uber tab there, so you don't have to worry about being dangerous out there. We're going to make sure that you're protected as well because, well, we got to take care of everyone around here. That's what we do, and that'll be fun for you to get tickets and be able to go to Allegiant Stadium and check out the first game of the season. The Raiders hosting the Miami Dolphins. What did my mom say? Hold on, my mom just chimed in. She's got some thoughts. Oh, yes. Boy. She said, "You never told me you fell in the water." No, I didn't fall in the water, Mom. Look, this is also like a this is like a confessions are going on. Like I feel like Usher now. These are my confessions. No, I didn't fall in the water. My dad caught me. So see what happened was see when Pops takes me somewhere. See how it is.
And he didn't
now
tell
he's gonna
her.
get in trouble. Yeah, now he's gonna get in trouble. She's gonna call and be like, "You didn't tell me my baby fell in the water. What'd you have my baby out there for? Why'd you let it fall in the water?" He's gonna call me, or when I talk to him on Saturday, he's gonna be like, "Boy, now why'd you tell her that?" "Oh, well, Dad, I thought the statute of limitations was up. Right. I thought we were good. I thought I couldn't get in trouble anymore." No, I didn't fall in the water. He caught me. He saved me. He saved me by that hair that you didn't let me cut. So we're good. We're good, right? Everything has a purpose.
Love it. It's a family show, like we always say.
It is a family show, literally. East Oakland Raiders said, do a show at Ricky's in San Leandro. Yes, that'll be. I think Ricky's will be a spot. I can't tell. Maybe that's a Friday. I think that would be a great Friday show before the game that weekend. Planks there in Jack London Square. I think, is it Planks? No, what is it that pins? Is it the pins? It might be Planks. Is it Fabian? You're in the Bay. Is it Planks in Jack London Square where they have the bowling alley? They have the video games. It's right there. It's a really cool spot. Oh, Fabian, man, damn it, you're too old, man. Come on, man. Come on, turn back the clock, Fabian. Jeez. Oh, man, you're in the wrong bay. Okay, all right, well, there you go. What do you got?
My risky research says yes, Plank. But
okay,
in
Plank.
Jack London Square, but it also says
Yes.
it's closing down. But
oh, is it?
Yeah, but let me.
That's a great spot. It's right there on the corner. It's right across from the barbecue spot. It's right across from oh man, we used to go there. Everett and Jones. It's right across from Everett and Jones right there. That's the spot. So if we can't do the show at Plank, maybe we'll do the show at Everett and Jones. And then I have to do one show from the barbershop, Gums. Got to go there, right? I mean, got to get cleaned up and all that. So plus that's the roots. That's where it all started. So we got to do the show there in Hayward. And where else would be a good spot? We got to see. We're putting our list together now. Like I want to do a show every day of the week from a different location there that week leading up to the Niners game. Now again, I haven't ran this by the powers that be. I haven't ran that by my bosses. So the budget might be a little bit more than they're willing to go ahead and contribute with. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll make it work.
And
Go
by the
figure.
way, unfortunately, August 2nd, they just closed. So.
Oh, man, that was a
shame.
good spot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Sorry. For once, my research is right and it's bad news, right?
No, it was for anyone who knows. That and look,
right.
I haven't been. I think I first went to Plank maybe Super Bowl 50, the week of Super Bowl 50. I went there, and then the last time I was there for Super Bowl 60 last year when we went, to there for whatever the last Super Bowl was that we were there at not Jack London Square, across the bay in San Francisco. On the way back, I had to stop there because that was one of my favorite places. Oh, that bums me out. Yeah. I hate that place shut down. Well, that sucks.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. We keep this party rolling. 702-365-9200, 903 Eastlake Mead Parkway. That is where we're at. We're at PT's Gold. Come on by. Get in to win the Raider tickets. Raiders and Dolphins. Get in to win the Uber and the bar credit. We've got that for you. We've got some prizes here on the table. Got a lot of tickets there on the table. For the country show there at the Palms. We have that. We have UNLV tickets. All we need is you. What key contributor, someone who you know is going to make the team, you think needs more time on task and should play tomorrow, and why? Let us know your thoughts. Again, 702-365-9200. Ari's also got winning there in the studio.
Yes,
what you got, Ari?
Even me over here. I've got a 4-pack of tickets to the Aviators and the Sugarland Space Cowboys at the LV Ballpark. That is tomorrow. So give me a call right now, 702-365-9200. Caller 9 must be a Nevada resident. Get a 4-pack of tickets to that.
There you go. 702-365-9200. Caller number 9. Ari's looking for you with Raider Nation Radio 920.
Takes the drop, hands it off to Washington, trying to follow the blockers, bounces off to the midfield, and he's into the secondary. Washington to the 30 and just tripped up at the Texans 25. Jalen Smith tracked him down to save a touchdown, but he bounced off for 32 yards.
Right now, we're doing football right on Unnecessary Roughness. Brought to you by Meineke, doing car care right.
And that might be your answer to the question that I threw out there. What key contributor, someone you know is making the team who might need some more time on task, and you want to see play tomorrow versus the 49ers in the preseason finale, preseason game number 3 at Allegiant Stadium? It very well could be Mike Washington Jr., a guy that is expected to do the heavy lifting early on, and I don't know how long early on is. I don't know if that's, a couple weeks. I don't know if that's 1 week. I don't know. Ashton Genty might all of a sudden come running out the tunnel week 1 and be back in the backfield. I don't know, right? We don't know the extent of the injury that he sustained, the sprained ankle. We don't know the severity of it. Can it be, something that's going to hold him out a couple weeks? It's obviously not something long-term, which is fantastic. But Mike Washington Jr. is a guy who you might want to see get a little bit more burn, try to get a little bit of, be on the same page and just a little continuity with the offensive line. And does that mean the offensive line is going to play some? And again, threw the question out there about who you think needs some more time on task, who you would like to see play coming up tomorrow. We throw that question out there to you, 702-365-9200. Don't forget, we are here at PT's Gold, 903 Eastlake Mead Parkway. We are getting you in to win. We are giving out a pair of tickets to the Raiders and Dolphins today. By the end of this show, it will be announced who's getting these tickets and who will be getting the $100 bar credit and who will be getting the $100 Uber credit. It's going to happen today all you need to do is come on by here, say what's up. My man Mateo, who's sitting right next to me, he's got the hookup for you, and he will get you in to win, and they've got some great food. My man Jason went and got these wings that are all looking good, and I'm sitting here from this angle, and I got to talk for 3 hours, and I can't get a damn wing. I can't get none of these good beverages. Yeah, he's like, man, you want some fries? No, I don't want, no. What am I going to do with that? Except let it get cold in front of me. But you can enjoy it. You can enjoy the great food this afternoon. So come on by and say what's up, get hooked up, and like I said, enjoy the weekend a little bit early. We'll start the weekend on Wednesday, and any of the action that you want to see from the Little League World Series to Major League Baseball, all on these TV screens here. Sports Center's on, talking about college players that are or NFL players that are going back to college. We'll get a preview and a conversation about that coming up at 4 o'clock when Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst, joins the show. But we do want to hear from you at 702-365-9200. We do want to hear from you. We go ahead and go out to the phone lines real quick before we do football right and talk to the Mac. The Mac from way back. Matter of fact, the way back when he had a fro. I had a fro, he had a fro. Raider Mac, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Oh, hey, yeah, Q, I had that fro, man. You know, hey, that fro was sharp. Hey, man, I want to see the pictures of you in that fro. You got to put it up on your page, man, so we can see it. Hey, Q, I want to see the secondary. I want to see some of the secondary guys playing. Everybody else that's a starter, under no circumstances you put nobody out there tomorrow. Do not, under no circumstances. We can't afford to get anybody injured. We know who can do what. So only those guys that need some polishing. I agree with that, but under no circumstances you putting that running back out there, the running back for the Raiders out there tomorrow. Hey, we don't know if Jitty coming back, so I would not put him out there for that. Also, Q, did you see that the Dolphins are rated the worst team in the NFL this year? And I'm not understanding. Okay, so they got us favored by 3 on for Sunday's game on the 13th. So my question to you is that do you guys see that this is a must win, or is this we just got to win the game under all circumstances? Because right now they got us favored by 3, and they got the Miami Dolphins as the worst team in the NFL. So I'll let it go on that, Q, but I just wanted to let you know, do not play anybody. Let everybody that needs to play is plumbers and I'm sorry to say that, but whatever position, I'm just joking. But I know those guys work hard, man. I'm just joking. But I would like to see some of these young guys play tomorrow, but not none of our starters for that. Did you see the injuries throughout the league just came out today?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of guys are injured, man. We can't take that chance at all. We don't have no depth. That's the thing. And if we lose key guys, we're gonna be sucking. Just get guys off of waivers and go from there. But no, don't play anybody tomorrow. Let everybody.
All right.
All right.
No, that'll work. Hey,
right.
Great stuff, man. Great stuff. Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate you. So he's not trying to put nobody out there. So he don't want to see anyone out there because, well, anyone who's out there is going to be a key contributor and, don't want to get anybody injured, as we've seen injuries across the NFL already when it comes to preseason. All right, there you go. That's Raider Mac. I'm not mad at that. I always wonder what's going to happen with this next call. Money Mitch, welcome to the show. What's on your mind, my man?
Hey, Q.
Chilling, man. How are you?
All right, good. I'm trying to put my grand Jeremiah Aponte to sleep, but apparently he keeps looking at the phone in my hand. He's listening to you, probably better than me.
Probably.
I heard you say. Hey, I'm trying. First of all, I heard you on with John Lund this afternoon over in your old stomping grounds. I was at the gym. Nice. You're very busy, man. You work so hard. God, you are the hardest working man. They should make you the president. I'm talking about the great USA, but that's a story for another day.
There you go.
I wanted to tell you yesterday. Yesterday I was videoing what had your show on, so you know where this is going. I videoed my two grandsons, and then I sent to my wife and daughter. They looked at me. He goes, I hear a cute dog in the background. I didn't turn off the sound.
Nice.
Greg,
Nice.
I'll get high for that. Hopefully somebody's listening.
They were. They were, but they stopped now.
They made up their minds right now. I made it easy for them. But nice. I wish I was back to work with the dogs. Tommy and Cody, I know they're going to make the team. Maybe second and third string linebackers, but I want to see them play. Not get hurt, of course. And I know he's going to be on the team. I want to see some of them. Big Mike. He should be playing, and he should be embarrassed. Q, enjoy your time. Slow down. I'm glad you love what you do.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Appreciate you, Money Mitch. Good stuff as always, man. It's always good to hear from you. Let's keep this party rolling. It's funny, man. Before we keep the party rolling, we were talking about me back in the day with the fro, and my man Jason, who's here, where you could be at 903 East Lake Mead Parkway here in Henderson. He said, you got to take it back to your birthday party when you were Black Dynamite, when you had the fro. And I completely forgot. About it. Looks like a album cover from back in the day. So, yeah, I'm going to have to tweet that picture out, and then I'm going to have to find one from back in the day, a real one. But, yeah, I forgot when I was Black Dynamite for that weekend. That was a fun day. So well, that'll be on the way sooner rather than later. Let's go back out to the phone lines, talk to our good friend Barry. Barry in Henderson, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good afternoon, Q. Thanks very much for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You and Ari doing a great job, man, as usual.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I got to hit the barbershop. My head's turning into a fro. I got to get to the barbershop. Got to get it cut down.
Nice.
But anyway, no, to chime in on the subject of the day, the question, I got to go with. I hope they play the top five on the offensive line. Get them work throughout the first quarter. See at least the first quarter, and it's been also said by other Raider Nation members that we need to see some action from those defensive backs, especially the rookies, Trayvon Stoops. Hopefully he can get a little bit more burn, and it's just they're going to get action. The Niners like to throw that football, so they're going to get some action out there.
Yeah.
Although, like you said, they're not going to have many of the starters play from the Niners, but still, we need those two rooms, the top five of the offensive line, at least the first quarter, and see as much as we can from the defensive backs, especially the rooks.
I like it. Good stuff, Barry. Thanks so much for the call. And yeah, the secondary, those guys definitely need to get some extra burn. They absolutely need to get some extra burn, and I do believe that they will. Really good stuff, man. Let's keep this party rolling. 702-365-9200. Let's go out to my favorite place on earth, besides where I'm at right now, of course, which is PT Goals, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. Let's go out to Maui. Talk to my guy, Raider Red in Maui. Raider Red, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Mr. Fantastic? How you doing?
Man, I'm great. I'm fantastic, like you mentioned, man. I'm living my best life. How you doing?
I'm living my best life. Absolutely. I'm from Santa Clarita, but I'm in Maui. I've told you about how I love being here, so I had to call you today since I'm here.
Nice. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. The player that I'd like to see the most tomorrow night is honestly Fatukasi, man. I mean, he looked like an absolute beast the other day. Last week, Thursday, his get-off was so incredible. And I know that he came from Houston, if I believe correctly, so I'm kind of wondering if his get-off, if he was just up on the cadence at that time with, the quarterbacks because he had heard them, and maybe he was getting a huge jump off a ball because of that. So I'd like to see him against an unfamiliar quarterback and their cadence to see if he's going to get off the ball and be as impressive as he was, because I was honestly blown away by his play.
Yeah, no, he definitely looked good, and he's a guy, and it's kind of wild, right, to think that he hasn't been with the team very long, and he's already getting as much burn as he is, right? I mean, so that's and like you said, he's got that quick get off. He did. He's definitely a guy to pay attention to. Like I said, he took that step and really became himself someone that you need to pay attention to immediately when he showed up with the team.
Absolutely, I love seeing him, and we need some help there in the interior defensive line. And he just blew me away. I loved it. The other person that I would like to see is I'd like to see the other safety from Arizona. His name escapes me right now. But
Dalton Johnson.
Dalton Johnson. Yeah, Dalton. Yep. He's looked powerful and strong, and he looks committed and decisive. When he's on the field, he's done great in special teams, and when he's gotten an opportunity to get on the field on defense, I thought that he's looked really good as well, and I'd really like to see him with the second or first team from time to time just to see what he looks like. I know that's not going to happen tomorrow night, but he's somebody who I'm definitely keeping my eye on.
Yeah, I got you, and yeah, that whole secondary. And thanks for the call, appreciate you. That whole secondary. Is so young, and they have an opportunity to gel together. And the good thing about Dalton Johnson is that him and Trayden Stukes are already on the same page with each other. And I remember Clint Kubiak and even I want to say John Spytek, referred to those guys as well and said that them having familiarity with each other, that did play a big role in them going and getting those guys, because communication is what matters when you're talking about the secondary. They have to be on the same page, and they're already there. They're those guys that can look at each other and know what the other one's thinking. Hey, if you need to slide over a little bit, I know what that look means, or I know what that hand signal means. It's just like a quarterback and their wide receiver when they're on the same page and they don't have to say a word, but they know what they're talking about, or you and your buddy. Like, I can look at my guy Jason who's here. I can look at him and he'll be like, "Oh, I know what Q's thinking," right? I mean, that's we're on the same page, right? And so that's what it comes to when it comes to defense. You got to be able to have that communication, that silent communication. They have that, so I do expect to see those guys. Them be the secondary of the future, right? We talk about Jamad McCoy and Hezekiah Masses, then you talk about Stukes and Johnson. Those four dudes, they're going to be key contributors and really be the guys that are roaming that secondary for the Raiders, I believe, for years to come. I think they got some really good ones in those positions, and you got to tip the cap to John Spytek. Obviously, they've got to go out there and get it done on the field, but I tip the cap to John Spytek right now for having the vision to be able to get those guys and really start to revamp that Raiders secondary. We'll continue hearing from you at 702-365-9200. Again, we're here at PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. We've got your Raider tickets. We got your Uber credit. We got your bar credit at Allegiant Stadium. All we need you to do is come by and say what's up. I also have UNLV tickets when they take on Memphis at Allegiant coming up on Saturday. It's at 7 p.m. Got those. I got some hats. I got some koozies. Just got everything you need, man. All you need to do is come on by and say what's up and get hooked up with it. You don't have to jump through hoops to get these prizes. Just come and say hello. So we'll continue to hear from you next at 702-365-9200. It's RaiderNation Radio 920.
I think he's got the tools, and he's extremely smart, dedicated, committed, does everything he can to be the best he can be. He's a great teammate and a great leader. He's a great competitor on the field. He's got a quick arm. He's got good arm strength, and he's got good mobility. He's going to be a really good pro. People ask me, how do you think he's going to do this year? I said, well, I don't know a whole lot about the Raiders, to be honest with you. You got to have protection. You got to have guys that can separate. You got to have a run game. You got to be able to play defense, special teams. It all goes hand in hand. But he's going to be a good pro, if not this year, sometime soon.
Now back to Unnecessary Roughness with your boy Q. Presented by Meineke, doing car care right.
Kirk Signetti right there talking about Fernando Mendoza and what he expects him to be on the next level. And, of course, Raider Nation expects him to be a big-time franchise quarterback. That includes me. I definitely believe he's going to be a big-time player for this team. Now, is he going to be a big-time player week 1, week 2, week 4, week 14? We don't know, but the Raiders clearly have a plan for him. He could be the answer to the question as well that I threw out there when it comes to preseason game number 3 at Allegiant Stadium on tomorrow. Maybe he's the key contributor, someone that you know is making the team, that you think needs some more time on task and should be in action tomorrow. Maybe that's your answer at 702-365-9200. You can always call in, text in, or you can stop by where we're at right now. And just had a young man that was sitting at the at the bar here drinking and playing some games and said, I've been listening here streaming the whole time. And so I said, man, you deserve some tickets. If you had to listen to me and my stories for the last 2 hours, you deserve some prizes. So you will get hooked up. All you have to do is come and say hello. We've got so many prizes for you, from hats to T-shirts to tickets to our country concert that we have with our sister station, Hank. We also have cups. We have UNLV tickets. And most importantly, we're going to get you in to win the Raiders and Dolphins tickets. Week 1 at Allegiant Stadium. We're going to get you in to win the $100 bar tab at Allegiant. We're going to get you in to win the $100 Uber expense tab there, so you're also safe in the community, because we want to make sure to take care of you as well. And it's real simple. No hoops are needed. All you have to do is come on in, say what's up. We got Mateo here. I got Jason here. You can't miss him. He looks like he's directing traffic. He's directing traffic in PTs. Jason's like, all right, here we go. Come on. Here, left. Okay, all right, stop. Hold on. Stop. All right, now you go. Now, yeah, he's our traffic cop here. We got Fabian, who's a real cop. He's here. That was an accident, but that's how we tie things together sometimes. But Fabian's retired. Fabian is, through and through silver and black representing, so he wants to see you here as well. You see Fabian at the Torch quite a bit, and, of course, in and around town, so we appreciate him, and we appreciate you as well. 702-365-9200. Coming up at the top of the hour, Ari, I know we've got Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst. Maybe going to have to give him a call at like 4:03 or maybe 4:04, just because I know that I got to get a couple calls and a couple texts in before we get to that, and so I want to make sure that we're able to do that. So Raider Mike, don't go anywhere. Hold on. We'll get you to the top of the hour. Ari, just don't call Rocky until, like I said, 4:03. We'll stall a couple minutes. That's all right?
I got you, yes.
All right. And if he asks, just be like, hey, Q's messing up. Q's, talking about falling in the water with his afro, and his dad saved him. His mama's mad now. So
it wouldn't be the first time I say, Q talks a lot, so we went a little over.
Exactly. Just for the record, though, I did tweet out that picture of me as Black Dynamite. I tweeted that out a little while ago at your boy Q254. And RaiderNation Radio 920 AM definitely retweeted it and liked it, and Las Vegas Sports Network as well on Twitter. So go ahead and check that out. But that's not the old school pick. That was just like that was the remake, right? That's like when the group gets together and they're like they got one more tour. Remember when it was like New Edition, one more time, or when the Jackson 5 said, all right, we're gonna do this one more tour. Right, and then Michael's going to go solo, or like when Destiny's Children finally come together and do one more tour together. Like, that's what that picture looks like. That's like, all right, well, Bobby Brown is kind of doing bad, but he needs one more run at it. Delbert DeVoe, Ricky, Mike, Ralph. All right, we're going to come together and do it one more time. New edition, one night only in Las Vegas. That's what that picture was. So we kick off hour number 3. Raider Mike, we'll kick it off with you. We'll do that next here live at PT's Gold, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson with RaiderNation Radio 920.
Connor Hayward is the split-out wide receiver to the left side. 2 tight ends to the right. Laube, the lone tailback. O'Connell turns, hands it off to Laube. Bounces it to the outside at the 5. Angling to the goal line. Touchdown, Raiders! Dylan Laube started up the middle, angled out to the right, does his shimmy in the end zone. And the Raiders cap it off. A fumble recovery for the defense, and Laube for 6.
It's Unnecessary Roughness. Presented by Meineke, doing car care right. Here's your boy Q.
Here we go, kicking off hour number 3 of the show. It is Unnecessary Roughness, RaiderNation Radio 920. We're live at 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. PT's Gold, $3 Blue Moon and Coors Light pints, $4 Modelo pints, and of course, you can get hooked up with Raider tickets to go see the Raiders and the Dolphins. That's week 1, September 13th. You can get $100 Uber credit, $100 Allegiant bar credit, and what else do you want? We've got some trucker hats here available for you. Raider Nation Radio 920 T-shirts, cups, koozies, whatever we got, man. Whatever we got on the table is yours except for mine. So no computer, no iPad, and no internet. Outside of that, you can take everything else. Everything else is good to go. I'm not mad at that at all, but we're having a really good time. You can, of course, enjoy some of the great food that they have here and enjoy all the action on the screens, where earlier today the Henderson Little League punched their ticket to the championship game coming up on Saturday. for the second year in a row. So congratulations to that young team. We definitely, cheer them on and hope that they get that championship once again coming up on Saturday. Coming up in just a few minutes, Ari's going to be giving my guy Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst, host of the Eddie and Rocky Show, a call. We'll talk all things college football and the state of college football and where it's going, and, of course, ask him some questions about UNLV in Memphis. But before we do that, we want to hear from you. I don't want to make you hold on too long. 702-365-9200. What key contributor, someone that you know is making the team that needs more time on task and should be playing tomorrow in the preseason finale against the 49ers? 702-365-9200. Let's go ahead and talk to our guy, Raider Rod. Raider Rod in Vegas. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
What's going on, Q and gang? I ain't gonna hold y'all. I think Aiden O'Connell should be starting. And if they want to give Fernando Mendoza the second half, so be it. I really admire AOC for keeping his mouth closed and just going out and doing this thing. I ain't hear a lot of people really talk about him winning the game Thursday night when we know he was the one that won it. And the other guy that I'd like to see play is the running back that came in after Laube. Because I really think he should make the team and Laube should be cut.
Okay, strong right there. Strong take, Raider Rod in Vegas. Thanks so much. Couple things. Yeah, I think Laube, and I'm with you on the same page with him as far as him being an offensive contributor. I think Laube is a really good special teams guy. That's why he'll make the team what he does on special teams. So I don't think that he's a guy, if you have to depend on the running backs that aren't named Ashton Genty and it's just Mike Washington, I don't feel confident about Washington and Laube. Now, Hemby, the other running back that you're talking about, he has a chance. I think we'll see him a lot tomorrow, and maybe he can prove to be a guy that they rely on early if in fact, Ashton Genty is not going to be out there. I can see it being the Washington and Hemby show. I don't see it being the Washington and Laube show. I think that the talent drop-off is just a lot. But, again, that's just me, right? And so we'll see exactly what they do. And Aiden O'Connell, yeah, look, 96 yards in, 8 plays and no timeouts. I think that was an incredible drive, and I got to give him a lot of credit. I think that he's a guy that has made the Raiders understand that they need to keep 3 quarterbacks. He's not going to come in and play before Fernando. If he plays, starts the game like you mentioned, Fernando's not playing. Fernando's not going to come in after him. You'd want Fernando out there with, maybe first-team offensive line just because you want to protect him. But I could see Aiden O'Connell getting – if Fernando doesn't play, I could see him getting 3 quarters and Jacob Clark getting 1. And I think that that'd be okay. And you're right about Aiden O'Connell and his attitude. I don't think there's a dude with a better attitude probably in the league than him. This dude has gone through hell and high water with the team so far, through multiple head coaches, multiple GMs, and still held his head up high and has been very positive. He hasn't been a guy that's pouted. He hasn't said, I need to take my ball and go home, trade me, get rid of you. You just drafted a guy. I could be the guy. He's done none of that. He has been an absolute pro. So I'm with you. I give him a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. Raider Rod, thanks so much for the call. Real quick, we get one more quick one in. Raider Mike, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
What's up, Q? So Fabian's in
brother?
the house?
Fabian's in the house. Jason's in the house. Yeah, man, hey man, the house is being built, brother.
I said hi. What's up, bro?
He heard you.
Anyway,
he heard you.
I'm worried about first off, Black Dynamite. You had that kind of fro going, that big?
Yeah, man, I was Black Dynamite,
movies.
man. Hey, I was Black Dynamite for my birthday, man. It was a cool little
Michael
look.
Jai White. Michael Jai White, man. That's one of the best, most underrated, fun movies ever made. It's just you just laugh your ass off the whole time. I'm worried about +3 instead of -4. The kickers, who knows what's going on there? The Tokyo Toe's not. He's a bust. So keep your eye out on the waiver wire, and that's probably we're going to get the running back we need. Is when the cut happens. A lot of cuts are going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of running backs, including I'm here. Is it True Sinclair McCormick? Best pimp name ever.
Did he get cut?
I don't know. I'm hearing he's going to get cut, or he was.
Oh,
that's a guy. Me and you have loved him since day one. You saw him playing.
He's a good back. Yeah, he was at UTSA. Yep.
And he was a Raider. And when he got finally some time to play, he was a Raider. He kicked ass. So anyway, I never liked him when we cut him in the first place. Who needs to prove himself? How about my boy Duck, my fellow Duck, Malik Benson? Dude,
okay.
you got to quit dropping the ball. Have no drops in this game. I think we're going to go 12, 13 personnel more than people can even imagine already. I think that's how we're going to run our offense for now. So Mayer and Mr. Bauer is going to be on the field all the time. And but we do need a couple good receivers. I think Besh has proved himself. I think he's fine. I think that was a good pick by Mr. Spytek. So, Malik, you're a duck. Play like one. Quit dropping the ball for me, bro. That's all I got for you, Q. Good to hear your voice. Raiders! My brother. Peace.
There he goes, Raider Mike. Hey, thanks for the call, man. Really good stuff. Yeah, Benson, he definitely should be a guy that that you see him out there and the ball security and making sure he catches the ball before he tries to make a move like he did in Houston is going to be key. He already, to me, and this is just me, is a guy who Fernando Mendoza is very comfortable throwing the ball to, but he's got to be that reliable guy where he knows, he can be that constant, okay, he's going to get open, he's going to make himself available, he's going to be where he needs to be when he needs to be there and make the play. He's already showing that chemistry. He just needs to continue to build on it. It would be good to see him out there, at least for a couple drives or so, just to get him a little bit more burn before the start of the season. I like that. Really good stuff. All right, go ahead and give Rocky a call. Rocky Boiman, ESPN College Football Color Analyst, is going to be joining us in a hot second here on RaiderNation Radio 920. I did want to get one text from Raider Jamil. He said, hey, Q, Raider Jamil, thanks for another great week and great questions for the coach. Money Mitch loves the Niners also, I was told. See you opening day, hopefully, Q. Oh, man, Money Mitch. Hold on. We're gonna have to take him to task next time he calls in. We'll have to see, and he'll call in. He'll be calling in tomorrow. Let's see. Raider Scott says, play the bottom 40 of the 90, and I'm at the game. Put me in. I'll play. There you go. I like that. And one more quick one from Rude Rube. Q, did your fro compare? This was 1978. Now I'm bald as a honeydew melon, man. I miss my fro, but I'm good with a quick in and out of the shower, and I'm out the door at 15. That's Rude Rube. And he had – I can show Mateo. Mateo's sitting here next to you. Now that's a fro. Now see, mine didn't look quite as good as that. I can't steal that. I can't steal that shine, man. Yeah, you are the man right there. We would have made the Jackson 7, right? There you go. Rude Rube. He had the fro for real. Really good stuff. All right, thanks for the heads up. Do appreciate that. Join us now on the phone lines as promised. Talk all things college football is our guy Rocky Boiman, ESPN College Football Color Analyst and host of the Eddie and Rocky Show. And Rocky, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate you. And I'm glad we're only a couple days away from the start of actual football activities, because then maybe some of these conversations that we're hearing are going to go away. But can you summarize with the 5-5 and, we got NFL players going back to college. Can you summarize kind of where we are right now when it comes to the state of college football?
Well, Q, thanks for having me. I think about it like this. Go back 10 years ago, and if I had told you that, USC was going to be in the Big Ten, and that we'd be paying college players, players would be able to have unlimited transfers, there would be a playoff, and then we'd be possibly talking about professional players coming back to college, you would have never believed me, right? But these are the things. I think there's a lot of good things that college football is doing in terms of progressing. And, folks, I think college football fans in general are very rooted in tradition. So they're pushing back on a lot of these things. But yeah, it's a different ball game these days. But yeah, the whole concept of once pro players going back to college, that's a new one. That's a one I definitely didn't have on my bingo card, but it's certainly being discussed.
And so the Big Ten says, nope, not going to be in this conference. The SEC follows suit, says, nope, not going to be in this conference. But LSU already has a couple players that are committed or is willing to go there. And how does that kind of change the game when Lane Kiffin's saying, okay, we're going to do this because, well, everyone's doing this. But LSU's AD is like, nope, we're not part of this. What happens now? What does LSU do moving forward?
Well, I mean, first of all, you can love or hate Lane Kiffin, but, man, if you're an LSU fan, if he coaches the team you root for, you know you got a guy in there that wants to win at all costs, right? And that's certainly appealing in this case to LSU fans. I mean, look, ultimately, I think it's not going to matter what Lane Kiffin wants here. The SEC, as you mentioned, along with the Big Ten, have come out and said they're not going to do that. There's going to be punishments if you do that. So I don't think it's going to happen. Now, obviously, things are different when it comes to the court system. And that famously, the NCAA always gets their rear ends kicked in court, which is how some of these things have formulated here. But I don't think it's going to happen. Sounds like the commissioners don't want it to happen. I think college football fans coast to coast don't want it to happen. I mean, maybe Lane Kiffin might be the only guy in America that wants it to happen. But I think for as much, again, flack that college football takes and not doing the right thing and not being proactive, it looks like at least the two biggest conferences are very proactive and kind of laying the law down a little bit that they are going to put the full force of their power behind stopping this thing, which, look, it's ridiculous to most fans, right? I'd say 99% of fans say, you know, grown men of an older age that declare themselves pros can come back to college. Last week when this story came out, you know, I had tweeted out, you know, it's kind of emblematic of this, you know, have your cake and eat it too kind of world we live in. It's not there's no rules, there's no regulations, everything's just a free for all, and whatever you want to do, just go ahead and do it. I think at least in this case, sanity has prevailed, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Rocky Boiman is with us here on RaiderNation Radio 920 and SI Rustin. Is talking all things the state of college football right now. And that's the thing to me, Rocky. I mean, you made it to the league, right? I mean, you know what it's all about to be a pro. I just can't imagine a guy wanting to take his talent back to college. I get it that they're making money, but to me, it almost feels like, man, I don't want to say I failed, but I didn't achieve my ultimate goal. And I don't understand why a player would want to do that.
Yeah, well, I think you mentioned the magic word, and that is the green lettuce of salvation, right? Money, money can shape a lot of opinions on things. I think that's obviously the main driver. And look, I guess maybe a player also looks at it like, okay, maybe I wasn't quite ready for the pro game, but I come back, I get another year of experience. Okay, yeah, I make some money while I'm doing it. Then maybe the next go around, I can become a pro. So again, maybe you get another bite at that apple, but again, doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, look, it's kind of, you know, college football really is going more toward kind of the Curt Cignetti model of let's get the oldest players we can, the most experienced players that we can. I mean, I'm sure you saw the stat that I did. Indiana starters last year, the average age was 23 years old. And in my head, I'm like, 23 years old? That's not a college kid. That's a grown man. That's like NFL light. Mm-hmm. So, you know, and you can see why he did it, because it works, right? Anytime you can put a team out there with older players who are more mature physically, have more experience, so they're more mature mentally, it's going to give you a little bit of an edge. So, but I'm glad to see, I think that there's people kind of fighting for, look, let's let college remain a game of college players and you know, amateurs, and then let's let the NFL ranks, the NFL, let's let that be the NFL instead of kind of having this like NFL light model that things seem to be going to.
So they go to the 5-5. They make this rule, so you've got 5 years to play, right? I mean, that's basically what you're going to do. Is this year going to be the only year of chaos, or do you see a world where there could be more chaos like this, maybe even next year?
It's hard to say, Q. You know, I think because coaches saw that it worked. They saw that it worked getting older players, experienced players last year when Indiana, my God, won the national title. So is every coach going to look for a loophole? Look, that's what these coaches' jobs are, is to find ways, you know, come hell or high water, to get the best team they can assemble. So, yeah, they're going to try to find ways, and they're going to, you know, tip their toe over that line a little bit and walk up close to the line over here and do what they can. It's coaches' jobs to find every way possible for their program to be successful. It's up to the powers that be, the administrators, the chancellors, the directors, the presidents, to kind of put a hold on that thing and do what's I think, best for the greater good of college football and also kind of cater to the college football fan. I mean, I think they got to have the mindset of, okay, is this good for the entire landscape of college football? Coach is like, hey, let me get the best players I can, and if I got to kind of, tweak some things to do that, I'll push for it. But it's up to the folks above them to kind of, rear them back in a little bit.
Talking all things college football right now with Rocky Boiman here on RaiderNation Radio 920. Unnecessary roughness. Well, when it comes to the game, again, college football is right around the corner, and I'll go back to LSU because Lane Kiffin, it seems like all roads always lead back to Lane Kiffin, but what are your expectations for him? First year there in Baton Rouge, week 3, ESPN College Game Day is going to be Ole Miss and LSU. That's going to be electric. But just for LSU in particular, what are your expectations this season?
Well, first of all, I'm excited because I actually have their week 2 game, Louisiana Tech at LSU, which is cool. I'm excited to go in there and meet with Lane and get inside his head a little bit and get a bird's eye view of that program. But look, I think LSU is certainly the wild card in the SEC. I think it's Texas and Georgia are kind of the 2 favorites. But I think LSU is a wild card simply because he's done a great job via the portal getting those top players in. And any coach will tell you it's the Jimmies and the Joes, right? It's getting that talent in there. Scheme can do a lot of things, but if you don't have the players to do it, you can't do it. Now, I will say I still go back to, 41 transfers. They have 41 transfers. It's hard in a shorter amount of time to get those players on the same page and, to get quarterbacks and wide receivers on the same page and in sync and things like that. So I can't predict that they're going to, go to the playoff and win it all. I think it's possible, but I still in my heart believe that having 41 brand new players from all over the place, that's going to be a hard thing to do to get that thing ready to go for this season.
How quickly do you think, I guess it's just kind of, adds on to what you were just saying, but how quickly do you think they can get on the same page? And the reason I ask is because obviously we cover the NFL here, and we're talking about preseason games and how quickly the offensive line can come together and how quickly can the defensive line come together. But college football players and teams, they don't have preseason games, so it seems like they figure out a way to come together, but the NFL takes a little bit longer. Even sometimes the first four games of the season are treated like the preseason almost.
Yeah, I think the NFL also has an advantage in that there's 17 regular season games, so there's a longer time period to get it together, and plus the 3 preseason games. Yeah, college, you're going right out there week 0 or week 1, and you got to put a team on the field, and especially now. Think about the SEC going to 9 conference games this year. That's there's going to be a lot of really good teams, really good SEC teams that are going to have 2 and 3 losses simply because, instead of playing, Long Island State, they're playing Mississippi State or Vanderbilt or, South Carolina, so it's tough without those preseason games. Certainly much tougher in college football than it is the NFL when you're talking about essentially an entirely new roster, getting them ready to go and being able to win those, 10 or so games that you need to go to the playoff.
What about Ole Miss? Pete Golding takes over. Obviously, he took over last year when Lane Kiffin left and made his way to Baton Rouge. But Ole Miss, they have Trinidad Chambliss. I feel like he's a household name last year because of the playoff run. But how do you think that program goes now, and how much pressure is on Pete Golding this year?
Yeah, it is because, he famously, he didn't even want the head job, but he, it was kind of, that was kind of what they had to do there, given that kind of crazy situation. I think they had a pretty favorable schedule last year, but now, can Pete Golding, can he run it back? Does he have the head coaching chops, that it takes? And you look at their schedule, at Florida, at Texas, they play Auburn, they play Georgia, they play at Oklahoma. So this is a tougher schedule that Pete Golding and Ole Miss, regardless of having maybe the most exciting player in college football in Trinidad Chambliss. It's going to be a tough one this year. I think Ole Miss is a very, very talented team. I think they're in the mix, but again, that tougher schedule this year is going to hurt them.
Rocky Boiman is with us, ESPN college football color analyst and host of the Eddie and Rocky Show here on RaiderNation Radio 920 on Necessary Roughness. There was a couple seasons ago where Colorado, for me, was must-watch TV. Anytime they were on, I'm like, all right, what time is Colorado on? I want to see what Shedeur is going to do. I want to see what Travis Hunter is going to do. I want to see if Deion can coach. Who is your Colorado this year? Who is the one program, the one team that we need to be making sure we watch week in and week out?
That's a tough. I'm on the spot.
That's what I do.
I'll say, and again, this isn't like some, completely like under the radar team, but obviously they're a national brand. But Florida, they haven't really done much in the SEC the last few years. But that coach they bring in, I think he's really, really good. I think Jaden Ball, the running back they have, is maybe the best running back in college football. I got to call 2 of the Florida games last year. So I think that with a decently, not easy, but I think a somewhat favorable schedule, I think Florida could be a team that jumps back up, and which is good. And I think people, again, they're a past powerhouse that maybe have been out of the light for a little bit, but I think they're a team. I'll go ahead with Florida.
Yeah, that's a good one. And they've been, not that powerhouse for a while now. It wouldn't be nice to see them get back into the mix and be that one, like you said, must-watch TV. Well, we're here in Vegas. UNLV, Dan Mullen's the guy, and their first game this weekend is against Memphis. And, this is a year that I feel like UNLV has to do really well, especially now that Boise State's not even in the conference anymore. What are your thoughts on that game just coming up, UNLV and Memphis, week 1?
Yeah, I mean, look, first, just great to get college football going. Look, I'm a color analyst. I do this for a living. It has never been harder, Q, to figure out how good a team is going to be, especially in weeks 1, 2, and 3, because there's so many transfers.
Yeah.
It sounds like Memphis is going to possibly be rotating quarterbacks. UNLV is going to have 2 quarterbacks out there, so it's really hard to put your finger on it. Now, UNLV winning 10 games last year, and what Dan Mullen has done there, I think, is great. I think the defense, that's the main thing. And Dan Mullen knows how to coach offense. By the way, he was a GA when I was at Notre Dame. He was like the guy that got everybody coffee and broke down film and for 22 hours a day. So I've known Dan Mullen a long time and really happy for him and the job he's done at UNLV. But I think certainly, when it comes to the Mountain West, I think they're probably the team this year. I do think North Dakota State, now being in the Mountain West, I think that's a team to look out for. I did see UNLV doesn't have to play at North Dakota State. That's a tough place to play. So I think that helps them out. But no, look, I think it's, we're going to get these 2 teams on the field here on Saturday and kind of let the kinks work out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know you're excited. College football is back. We're going to get to see what it really looks like on the gridiron. I know you've got a game coming up as well. What game are you going to be on that we should be on the lookout for?
Yeah, so I got an FCS kickoff game. Usually in past years it's been in Montgomery, Alabama. This year it's at Mercer, so it's Mercer and East Texas A&M. It's 7:00 on ESPN this Saturday. I'm real excited again just to get back on the saddle here. But same thing, Mercer has 75 new players. East Texas A&M has 58 new players. So yeah, I'm sitting here with a Venn diagram right now, trying to figure out who's going to even start and stuff. But look, it'll be fun to get to. Certainly Mercer is a good FCS program, and I mean, if you watched that FCS national title game last year with Montana State, beating Illinois State, what an unbelievable game that was. I think won in the double or triple overtime. So FBS, FCS, look, man, it's just so exciting that football is back.
Yeah, exactly. We have an FCS football show that we air here, matter of fact, every Saturday on RaiderNation Radio.
Yeah.
So, there you go. We're looking forward to it. We'll look forward to the game that you're on the call for, and, of course, college football being back. Rocky, fantastic stuff, my man. Thanks so much for giving us some time. We definitely appreciate you.
Hey, my pleasure. Anytime. Thank you.
There you go. Talking all things college football. Rocky Boiman, ESPN college football color analyst, host of the Eddie and Rocky Show here on RaiderNation Radio 920. And, man, like I said, I'll just be happy when the games get going. I'll be happy when Saturday comes up and we're in Allegiant Stadium watching UNLV take on Memphis. Dan Mullen, that's going to be a fun game to check out as well. So hopefully everything goes really well on Saturday. right? You got the Henderson Little League playing for the U.S. Championship on Saturday. Then you got UNLV playing Saturday night. That'd be a great Saturday for me. Go to the barbershop that morning. Let's not forget about the barbershop. Got to stay so fresh and so clean, right? Might even go get my car washed that day. Boy, we'll have a quadruple hit on that day if we can parlay everything the right way. Now, of course, that's a little bit easier said than done, but we will see for sure. I was wondering what was going on, man. My phone just started vibrating, an Amber Alert going on. So, pay attention to those things, man. Those are important. So we're here, and 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson is very important. Is where we're at right now. We're before we get out of here, appreciate you being here. Before we get out of here, we're going to make sure somebody has a pair of tickets to go see the Raiders and Dolphins coming up on September 13th. We're going to make sure somebody has that $100 Uber and $100 Allegiant bar tab on us. We're going to get sure that's taken care of before we get out at 5 o'clock. So come on by and see us again, 903 East Lake Mead Parkway with RaiderNation Radio 920.
It's time to flush it on Unnecessary Roughness. Brought to you by Moonlight Plumbing.
Tell you what, the NFL flushed it when it came to the Pro Bowl, right? They said, no more of that. No more of that nonsense. And I hate that, man. You want to have an all-star showcase, but you just can't. There's really no way to do the Pro Bowl and do it right. You don't want to put the guys out there to get hurt. We've seen that happen. Guys don't know how to go half speed. Football's not fun at half speed. Like, there's no way to really do the Pro Bowl, an all-star game, without setting yourself up for failure. So finally, after years and years of us saying, just get rid of it. It doesn't do anything. There's no fun in it. Just have a skills competition. They have gotten rid of the Pro Bowl. So before we get into actually flushing it, Ari, why don't you go ahead and do what the NFL did to the Pro Bowl and flush it? Of course, that flush right there being brought to you by Moonlight Plumbing, moonlightplumbing.vegas. Talk about them all the time. And I do have a real flushing that I'm going to get to, but it felt so appropriate that, the NFL decided that they were going to go ahead and do away with the Pro Bowl, and it makes a lot of sense. But today's flushing is actually going to come from Major League Baseball, and it comes from baseball a lot because, well, baseball does baseball things. Now, obviously, when the football season, college football, and the NFL gets going, we're going to have plenty to flush when it comes to that. But this one, man, you want to talk about if it wasn't for bad luck, you would have no luck. And this is two different directions, but with the same team. First of all, the flushing goes to Cooper Pratt of the Brewers. You're probably saying, who is that? Well, he's a rookie that is a really promising rookie. They should feel really excited about him. But the Brewers, they lost to the Mets last night, 3-2 in 10 innings on a throwing error. All right, so rock with me. You got to follow the story now, right? You can't skip ahead, right? You got to follow the story because all the details are needed. All right, the Brewers, who still have the best record in baseball, 30 regular season games to go. Pat Murphy, their manager, he sent a big message to the rookie shortstop, Cooper Pratt, during Tuesday's 3-2 loss again in 10 innings against the Mets. So this is what Murphy said. You got to be locked in if you're going to play at this level. It's hopefully a good learning experience. And what do I mean by that? What was the learning experience? The learning experience is the fact that they had to bench Cooper Pratt. So exactly, this is how the game went. He failed not once but twice. Once he twice failed to execute a bunt attempt in the third inning, pulling back his bat on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball middle in for strike two before grounding into a fielder's choice and extending a recent slump to 0-19 with 6 strikeouts and no walks. But it got worse. Number two, he didn't immediately hustle out of the batter's box on a bloop single over first base in the 5th, and then that's when he got benched. And it's funny because he's on base, but he gets pulled. He's thinking that, hey, I just got on first. He kind of stared at it and watched it go. And then all of a sudden, the manager's like, no, you can't do that. We're going to pull you. We're going to bench you. So they bench him for David Hamilton. And, again, the devil's in the details here. They bench him for David Hamilton, right, who didn't have any idea that he was even going to get put into the game. He did. So, and after the game, Pratt said, hey, they hold you accountable. It's good. I needed that. It's never going to happen again. But this is where it gets crazy in the bottom of the 10th, all tied up. Remember, David Hamilton is in for Pratt, who got benched. So the bases are loaded, and the Mets have a bouncer hit straight to Hamilton, who was at third, and, again, in for Pratt. And there was time for him to get the out at home, which would have saved the game, but Hamilton pulled his throw for an error that handed the Mets the game. So he rushed his throw and gets away from the catcher and boom, there you go. That's how they lose the game. So Hamilton says, I don't think I got my feet set good. I think I just rushed the throw. Well, he did. In that, who knows? Would, the play have been made by Pratt if he had been in the game? Who knows? But he wasn't in the game. He wasn't in the game because he didn't, do what he was supposed to do when it came to getting the hit, hitting and running out of the batter's box. So he didn't show the hustle. The manager decided to pull him. So not only did he, mess up when he was trying to bunt, he got out. Not only did he get benched after getting on base, but then his replacement throws the game away at the end. So it comes full circle. Like I said, the devil's in the details, but the Brew Crew, who are going to be just fine, right? They're still got an incredible record. There's only 30 regular season games left. They're going to be just fine. They're going to, challenge anyone that they play. They could end up being there when it's all said and done. They could end up being the last team standing. But for this day, they get the flush because, again, multiple things happen in that. The rookie got benched, and then the rookie who got benched replacement throws the game away. So, all right, go ahead and give him one more flush. That flush, as always, being brought to you by our good friends at Moonlight Plumbing, 702-355-3938. That's how you can get a hold of them, or you can always hit them up online, moonlightplumbing.vegas. That's moonlightplumbing.vegas. No problem. It's too big or too small for Moonlight. Their services range from residential leaky faucet repair, water heater replacement, to commercial plumbing system installs and full remodels. They're veteran-owned and operated. They handle jobs big and small. Military and first responder discounts are available. Because of all things that can be flushed down the drain, time and money shouldn't be two of them. Visit moonlightplumbing.vegas. That's moonlightplumbing.vegas.
Flush It is brought to you by Moonlight Plumbing. Affordable, dependable plumbing professionals serving Las Vegas since 2016. We mean business.
We mean business as well, and business is good. 903 East Lake Mead Parkway is where we're at. PT's Gold. Business is good because when should we do this, Mateo? You want to give these tickets out, coming back from break? We'll do that, around 4:50? Who's gonna pull? I'm not gonna pull it. I don't want to pull it. We'll make Jason do it. Make Jason pull the. Yeah, Jason could do it. Oh yeah, we'll have someone here pull it. I cannot stand pulling the raffle. You pull the raffle, everyone looks at you like you're the spawn of Satan. Yeah, hey, that's true. Yeah, you can't. That's right. You can't. We did that one time. The statute of limitations is already gone, right? I can't self-incriminate, right? Okay, we did do this one time. Back when I was in Fresno, at the big Fresno Fair, no joke, we did this. I had a buddy that worked at a rim company, and their big thing was that they were going to give out a set of rims, and all you had to do was pay $1 for the raffle ticket. So you can imagine everyone was like, hey, man, we're going to get some 20s for $1. So they went and collected dollar after dollar after dollar after dollar. So then they're like, all right, Q, you're going to pull the raffle ticket out. I was like, I'm not really a big fan of that. And they're like, no, we just have you do it. All right, cool. And then right before I went to pull it, he gave me one of the homeboy handshakes, and there was the raffle ticket in my hand. And I was like, what's this? And they're like, that's the winner. And I was like, oh no. And then I had to play it off. So then I'm trying to be like the best actor I could be, right? And I ain't Wesley Snipes. So I'm thinking, so I'm like, man, I got to be the best actor I can be. Like, this is really what I'm doing. So I'm going through here. I'm going through there. I'm putting my hand in there. And then finally I pull it. And I was like, all right, I got the number. And I pull it out of my hand. And I go really slow. And you see everyone start to drop. Like, there's one person like, oh, okay, we're still in it. We're still in it. Then they drop. So there's like 10 people still in it. And then finally, when I called the number, and it's some dude that I know, which was worse, and I was like, oh, they're gonna take me out on the way to the to the car, and I'm in Fresno, right? I'm at the big Fresno Fair. Look, that ain't no joke, man. Hey, man, anyone who knows the 559 knows where the big Fresno Fair is. Like, you got to keep your head on a swivel, man. So I was like, dang it, they're gonna get me. They're gonna be all mad at me because I didn't pick their number. So yeah, I learned about that. So I never again. Ever again signed up for a raffle where I had to pull the ticket because I knew that those things are hustles when you have to pay for them. But see, the good thing about this one, you didn't have to pay for anything. You just came in and Mateo gave you a ticket. So everything's on the up and up. But back in the day, not so much. So there you go. Everyone's like, damn, Q was a hustler. No, I wasn't. I just was part of a hustle. I got hustled into it, man. I was like, it's like blood in, blood out, man. There was only one way in and one way out for me. So I did the best I can. Ari is shaking his head like unbelievable. Fabian's like, I'm running numbers on you guys right now. Fabian's like, I got some people's back in the old police department, man. We about to get you guys.
I mean, you also can't really say no in that. Like, that's okay. Not like real loud. Like,
stuck,
that's okay.
man.
Don't help me out. I don't want to win. Yeah.
I was stuck at that point, but
not your fault.
that's how it was back in the day. But like I said, man, that was one of those paid things. This is not paid. Everything we're doing here is free, right? It was free to come in and get a hat. Free to come in and get some tickets, free to get a raffle ticket, free to get some tickets to the Raider game and the Uber, and, of course, the bar tab as well. So we'll find someone who's going to be the victim to have to pull the ticket out, because I've been deathly afraid of doing that ever since. I don't want to do that. We did get a couple good texts, though, from a good friend, Just Win Wendy. Hey, Q, I arrived in Vegas, a.k.a. the air fryer. Staying cool inside the hotel. So glad the season's getting going. See you tomorrow at the Tourist. Did you comment yet on the elimination of the Pro Bowl? It's about time. Hope to see the Mandalorian tomorrow. Raiders. Just Win Wendy. Yeah, we just flushed the Pro Bowl just like the NFL did. Really good stuff like that. What other texts we got? Let's see. DJ. Go DJ, because that's my DJ. DJ in the Bay said, Q, let us know when you'll be up here in the Bay so we can all come out and represent RaiderNation for life. And, yes, Plank had that whole outdoor bar area. Wow, it would have been a perfect spot, DJ in the Bay. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. That place was really cool. I did like that spot. But, yeah, they are closed down. But that's okay. We'll make it happen. That'll be Week 9 action. We'll go out there and we'll just take over the Bay, and we'll set up shop everywhere. The good thing is I got this little internet box right here next to me at the table. I could do a show from anywhere. I could do the show from just anywhere where I could plug this bad boy in. If there's some power, I got it. So we'll go anywhere and everywhere and do the show. Let's see. This one's from Jason, not Jason who's here, but shout out to our former late pick, Amik Robertson, on his sack fumble versus his former team, the Detroit Lions. He's earned every time. We need playmakers like that with our young guys. Hey, I'm glad you brought that up about Amik Robertson. He was the guy, if you remember, going back a few years, I always counted him out. Every year when it came down to this time of the year, when it's the last preseason game and roster cut downs, I always thought, man, Amik's not going to make it. Amik's not going to make it. Amik's not going to make it. And I counted him out so many times, and I told him in the locker room, like, man, all you do is stick around. Every time we think that you're done, you stick around. He said, oh, yeah, you're not the only one. You're just the only one that'll admit it. And so, that was like my badge of honor. But, man, he has really earned it. Stuck around with the Raiders for a handful of years, made some plays with the team, went to Detroit as a free agent, made some plays with the team, now is in D.C., I believe, and made some plays there, and he's going to make plays there. He's just one of those guys that if you give him an opportunity, he's going to do just that. He's going to make plays. I really like him, and that's what the Raiders' new secondary is looking to do as well, make plays. That's the one thing about Amik. He was a ball hawk, where he saw the ball in the air and he wanted to go make a play on it. I'm not saying he made every play, but he sure did want to go make a play on the ball. That's what Traden Stukes, that's what Dalton Johnson, that's what Jamad McCoy, that's what Hezekiah Masses. Those guys are going to be tasked with doing that. We saw Hezekiah Masses, was it on Sunday? I want to say it was Sunday when we were in the indoor facility, make a play on a ball, Fernando throw, and he just broke on it and just dove and made a great interception. He's just one of those guys, man, ball hawks. Guys that expect the ball when the ball's in the air, and that's exactly who he is. So we need to see those guys go out there and make more plays like that and expect to find the ball. All those guys in that Raider locker room, they need to find a way to see ball, get ball for that Raiders defense. So there it is right there. There's my guy. What up, dog? We got everyone rolling in here right now. We still got a few more minutes. Come on by. Get your raffle ticket. We're going to find someone to pull that ticket. What's up, brother? How you doing? You doing all right? It's always good to see you, man. Always good to see you. Yeah, so we rolling in here right now. They're rolling in here right now, rolling in deep. And, we're going to be giving away these Raider tickets in a hot minute. We're going to give away this Uber credit and this bar credit at Allegiant Stadium. We're going to do it all before we wrap up. We're going to wrap up the show next here. 903 East Lake Mead Parkway in Henderson, where we're at with RaiderNation Radio 920.
For me, I just think in terms of Fernando Mendoza, if indeed he's ready to play football, throw him out there. I trust Fernando Mendoza from the standpoint I know he will put everything into it to be ready. To me, it becomes a point of you have to protect your long-term investment.
So you would not play him week 1, or you would, Fernando Mendoza?
I wouldn't play him right now. I would bring him along slowly.
You're listening to Unnecessary Roughness with your boy Q. Brought to you by Meineke, doing car care right.
Rand Carthon right there talking about Mendoza week 1, and he would bring him along slowly, and it sounds like this is what the Raiders are exactly doing, bringing Fernando Mendoza along slowly. Week 1 action, I'm expecting it to be Kirk Cousins. Of course, that decision has not been made or announced at this stage of the game. I'll tell you what has been made, what decision's been made, and what's been announced for week 1 is the winner of the tickets to the Raiders and Dolphins games, as we're here at PT's Gold at 903 East Lake Mead Parkway. And it was so funny. I wish you had been here for the dramatics. I wish you had been live on air when this happened. So my guy Mateo brings the bucket around and decides that, you know what, we're going to put this on the manager. We're going to make the manager here. She's going to have to pull the ticket. She pulled that ticket, and, boy, that thing wasn't in her hand 2 seconds. And she was like 3, 8, 8, 3, 8, 8, 8, like, boom. It was like it was no hesitation whatsoever. Like, it was the tortoise and the hare, and she was the hare. There was no slowing her down. So we do have a winner. He's Jarrett. Jarrett's getting hooked up with the tickets, and he's getting all the information right now together. Also getting the Allegiant Bar credit, also getting the Uber credit. So really happy that he was here to have a good time, and really happy for everyone who came by and got their raffle ticket and UNLV tickets and hats and everything else that we've got. But, man, that was so funny. I would have loved just to heard that, like, live on the air at the same time. It was fantastic because she was hustling. She was like one of those, like, hey, look, mama's got places to be, so we got to get this show on the road, right? All right. I know, Q, you like to make this thing dramatic. I know you want to fill some time and make some people, maybe. No. She was not. She was like me in track. Like, I was not a long distance runner. I was a 100-yard dash at best. Really appreciated the 40. Like, give me the 40, I'm good. Give me the short-term run. I don't need even the steeplechase was too much for me. All right, I got out there, ping, 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 done. All right, now we take a deep breath. But, yeah, she was like, look here, Q, I got something to do. I ain't got time for all this. I'm going to get this number out here, and we're going to make it happen. So that was cool. Congrats. What was the name again? It was Jarrett, right? Oh, Terry. Why did I say Jarrett? I'm tripping. Terry's his name. He did say with a T, so Terry. I'm glad. Look, there you go. I am tripping, but he got hooked up, and everyone's got hooked up with tickets to the country show with our sister station. Got all these hats on our table. We've got everything that you can imagine. Again, and the drink specials and the specials that they have here are going to roll on after we even roll out. So $3 Blue Moon, Coors Light pints, $4 Modelo pints. They have all that. They've got some great food. My guy Jason, who got the wings and fries, he's looking nice and full while I'm looking nice and hungry, but that's okay. My man Fabian got hooked up with some food too. Took care of the little hunger, a little something. But yeah, man, this is a great location right now. The Red Sox and Miami is playing a baseball game. The Marlins. Got Little League World Series going on another TV. Got the U.S. Open going on another TV. Man, it's just there's a lot of action here, and we always do appreciate all the action and all the folks that do come by and say what's up. And, even if you only spend a couple minutes with us, that's cool. They also have the Ultimate Wing Down. I didn't tell you about that. It's the Wing Eating Challenge going on Saturday, September 12th, 4 p.m. At Pebble and Eastern. So this is really cool if you want to be a part of this, and then the next day go to the Raider game. Right? I mean, because that's the weekend of the Raiders season opener, the one that we just gave tickets away to the Dolphins games. It's a $10 entry fee. You must be 21 and over. Contestants have 2 minutes to eat as many wings as possible. First prize, $2,500. Second prize, $1,000. Third prize, $500. So that's a cool competition that they have, the Ultimate Wing Down. And man, we've had the ultimate show here. Ari is sweating right now in the studio. He's like, man, I don't know what y'all did today.
We did a lot. I was just thinking about some chicken
saying.
fingers, actually, is what I was thinking about. But yes.
Ah, boo. Chicken fingers. You're one of those guys.
Boo. Yes, we've had this conversation before. I'm one of those awesome people that understands
That's
how much
right.
better
You
chicken
sure
fingers
are
than chicken wings.
No, let's not. I'm not going there, man. I'm not. Hey,
we got
you
1
make
minute,
JT.
so.
You gonna make JT mad, man? Don't start bringing up some food on the air, man. JT's gonna get mad. He can be like, "What's this dude talking about? Why Why you got Ari talking about these chicken wings
Oh,
and
that's
chicken
right.
fingers?
No food. We don't talk about food. Even when we're at a place with free food.
Yeah, man, come on, man. That's my teammate, man. That's my brother, man. Don't get the locker room divided, man. What are you trying to do here?
Hey. Me and JT have a great relationship where I say, hey, man, great show. And he says, have a great show. And then I see him the next day and we do it all again. That's
But
radio.
why see, it always is. I say it all the time. It be your own people.
Yeah,
it be your own people trying to split up the locker room, man. What are you trying to do, man? See, don't bring that nonsense to this show.
What was it? Wait, we, not I, or whatever. Yeah, go Raiders. That's what I got.
That's Ari. He's AI generated, as you can tell by the great sounds of his tones and what he's talking about. Doesn't even like chicken wings, like chicken tenders.
What an AI person would say.
Exactly. But we'll be at Allegiant Stadium tomorrow. You will hear JT on the call for Raiders and 49ers. This show will come to you 2 to 3, and then the pregame show. It's RaiderNation Radio 920.